Heat drum. Oh, are we rolling?
We're rolling.
Oh my goodness, guys. Welcome back to another episode of Mike and Dylan Hate Drama, where sometimes we give advice, sometimes we talk about what's happening in the world. The people do tend to get angrier when I touch on religion or pop. They're just like, just be funny at all times, fat boy, and never make us think. That we don't listen to you to think, Mike. Also,
my favorite thing is though is like, at what point do you lose the ability? Because like most of those people, if you were to go to their Facebook profile, it's nothing but fucking politics. But then no, shut the fuck up. You don't get to talk about politics. You're just the funny guy. Don't have any opinions.
My favorite part is like when I'm just like, throughout every religion, there's a similarity, and it's like God created us in His image.
Yeah.
And then I'll be like, so, I have the ability to unconditionally love. I'm going to believe that my Father, who art in heaven, has the ability to unconditionally love. And then godly people will be like, hey, how about you not talk about God? And you
don't know anything about it.
And I'm just like, what? But it's a godly person saying, hey, you shut the fuck up. Don't bring that guy up. Okay. No. God, look, there's a time and a place to bring. I already got to listen for an hour and a half on Sunday. But look, if I was a God, all right, and I create this, heaven and universe and everything like that, I am a father. At no point would I ever make my kids like have to sit somewhere. Imagine making your kids sit somewhere for an hour and a half on Sunday. Well, I just talk about me and my life stories and stuff like that. And I remember,
not even you talk about you. It's having somebody else in your place talk about you and how great you are the whole time. Like,
right.
Hey, kids, listen up. This guy knows what he's talking about. He's talking about me.
I remember when I used to just like sit in church, which is where you meet like the nastiest people. The people who are like, I love God, I don't go to church. Those are the nicest fucking people. They are. I think it's once you like get around each other and it starts the holier than thou contest. I think that's where it just kind of gets like a little bit.
I think it depends. I think that's one of the things, like I've met some really great people. Like I have been to church maybe a dozen times in my life, like definitely wasn't raised that way. But the one thing that I miss as being not religious is like the community. Like there is a lot to be said about like the gathering and communing together and like being like, yes, there are probably shitty people in that, but there's also some really good people that
people in the Bible Belt especially will understand that when you are a kid, you have no choice. You're going to church. Yeah. Like whether it is with your parents or with like friends' parents, yeah. You're going to church. And I would be sitting in there we would go through the little Sunday school, which Sunday school was always like weird. It was like, we're not really going to talk so much about God as much as we're going to like color pictures and of like, Daniel sitting in a lion's den or something like that. And then after that, we're all going to go gather around in the chapel so the preacher can scare the living shit out of you guys with the love of the Lord. Yeah. And you better, if you were sitting there right now and you look into your body and you can say, hey, I am not doing the things that I need to do. You better get right with God or you're going to be burning in the lake of fire for all of eternity while I'm singing with the Lord. And then you're just like sitting there half scared, half bored out of your mind, because the thing about, look, I give the mega churches a lot of shit. Okay, if there's any demons and devils, they're definitely dancing along in the mega churches. They make it exciting. Look, yeah. that preacher's always disproportionately angry about something, and it doesn't matter what. Like right now, the biggest like happening with like a celebrity is still the Joey Swoll thing, and
I saw him. He came back, like he's back at it.
No, look. Here's the thing: is in one fell swoop, he pissed off everybody. He calls black people colored, which he's like, I was told it was an outdated term. I was like, brother, I knew that in like first grade, and if I did it, I'd just be like, man, I was trying to say people again. Yeah, look, I don't know what to call people. Like, it's just easy to say. Honestly, if he would have just did all that, ignored everybody, and continually posted like he posted, he would be infinitely more popular. But then what he does is you have the whole side that's like, we don't like people getting canceled. You should be able to, say what you want, freedom of speech, still have your platform, yada, yada, yada. He then gets on there and apologizes. And then the freedom of speech people was like, oh, we don't want you to apologize. We want, nobody to have that freedom.
Yeah, you didn't do anything wrong. You just act like
so
everything's
then he's in one fell swoop, he pissed off both sides, which if I am Joey Swoll's fucking PR guy, I'm just going to be like, all right, so you said colored athletes. What we are now going to do is you're going to do a whole bunch of videos with black athletes. Like that's it.
Yeah.
No context as to what is happening. You know what I'm saying? Just so you give one side kind of like that validation, be like, yeah, see what he said isn't racist. He's hanging out with black athletes right now.
Black friends.
Yeah, what are you guys doing? What are you? Because honestly, you are like the side that's just like, oh, look what he said, is the side that says that doesn't really do anything for the community. I mean, neither side does anything for community. Nobody fucking cares about community anymore. But they're not doing that. It's to really look good, and then somebody big enough will talk shit about Joey Swoll. They'll absorb the people who are following Joey, and then this guy's going to be the new guy that does everything for that side, and then he's going to fucking say he's going to call a Asian person a Mexican.
So when you say that though, like all I can imagine is my daughter plays this game. It's called like Holes or whatever, and you just go around and like eat smaller holes to become a bigger hole, and like you get to eat like buildings and all that. And I just, when you said like this influencer ends up eating this person, and like I just see them just like going around and going,
I miss the days my kids played those games, because those games were like real fun and they're so easy, and I'll be like, bro, I'm just so cracked at it, and my daughter would sit there in awe and just be like, bro, how are you this good? And I'd be like, bitch, I played Dark Soul games and Elden Ring, like playing it, because the funniest shit, I was playing Elden Ring and I'm doing like probably my 60th playthrough, and I'm doing a because the first time I did a playthrough was on stream. I did a heavy weapon, a colossal weapon naked run, which is very, very hard. And for those listening, I did beat Melania, so absolutely give me the praise that I deserve. I am a god amongst men. But it was rough. So this one, I was doing a colossal weapon, but I could have armor, because I was just like, the DLC came out. I didn't really have money for the DLC when it came out, and then I just kind of like didn't play it. And I was like, "Ooh, I'm gonna do like a run like I did back in the day to kind of like get into the DLC." Even though I'm not streaming anymore, I was just like, "This will be a fun thing to do." Which I was just like, "Mike, we gotta like, I don't know, get into a bleed build or something like that. This is fucking rough." But I'm playing it, and my daughter sits next to me and she's watching, and she's like, "Man, I want to play this." I immediately just handed her I showed her how to do everything. I was like, look, this is how you roll and stuff like that. And she was like, I remember you used to say a lot of stuff about parry. And I was like, listen, girl, I have like thousands of hours in this game. I still don't know how to do that. So you could try that if you want to. I'm showing her like, because you have to time it exactly when like the weapon goes to hit you to parry their people who could do that is even gaudier amongst men. But she's like playing it, and she's like, why is it like this? And I was like, I don't know. Asian people made it that way, and it's like the fucking best video game ever. Like, it rewards you for trying hard. That's what I tried to explain to her, and she was like, Dad, this is gay. Like, it's just hard for no reason. You are just going through something you don't have to go through. No, she's playing that, and then I open up my phone and I start playing like a Pokemon emulator on my fucking game, or on my phone, and I'm like, see, I'm actually doing something easy. Like, I have my easy games that I like relax with, and then I have my hard games where I'm just like, let's be mad for 3 hours just you'll be fighting a boss, and say like you'll have an open field boss, which is different than like you're going into an arena. So arena is kind of like a closed off, you're fighting a boss there. You go through like this yellow smoky looking gate, and nothing can really intervene. But if, say, you're fighting like a open field boss, like a fucking sentinel or a Earth Tree Guardian, then like if you back up too far, you'll just start getting attacked by other people, like other fucking enemies and shit like that. Yeah. And I'll just be like, what's up? Like, these fucking guys just jumping in and shit like that. Which is why my youngest son, he'll just walk around, he'll be like, Jesus Christ, oh, fuck, Jesus Christ.
Oh, while he's playing?
Yeah, because that's
no, you're talking about he's
the youngest one. Yeah, because he just picks up on phrases that he hears. And what's so funny is like if he ever goes to school and someone's like, he's saying these words a lot, we hope that everything's okay around the household. My wife's just like, oh, that's when my husband plays football or his Elden Ring. Because my wife, she has that real country voice. And she's like, it's not like any kind of abuse. He did headbutt her, by the way.
Your wife? Or
yeah, so he's throwing a temper tantrum and he'll throw his head back, which is at this point 4 years into it. Lady, you got to be on your toes. You have to know that this is going to happen. When you're like, he headbutted me in the mouth and you're like trying to get sympathy from me, I'm just like you're playing with fire.
why'd you even get in?
You're going to get burned.
Why'd you put him
Why'd you
in that area?
In the danger zone.
Yeah.
But she had a big bruise from here. And every time she went to the grocery store, I was like, I bet people are looking at her like, she'll listen next time. Yeah. She will. So whatever she didn't have ready, she will have ready next time. So fucking, look, I have to make the jokes. And then, what the fuck were we talking about?
See, we were playing PlayStation yesterday. It was me and my 4-year-old, and we were playing Tony Hawk. And she only likes it when there's no time on. She's like, let me just play where I can just skate around, and I put all the cheats on so she can do tricks and things like that. And so I took over playing for a little bit, and I was trying to like actually go through the career and like do all the things. And my wife sits down, never playing it before, and she's like, this seems like kind of like a pointless game. Like there's no like challenge to it. And I was like, well, there's like the list of like 10 things that you got to do per thing. You got to find all the things and, do the tricks where you got to do the tricks. You got to do, the certain amount of tricks for the total thing, combos, blah, blah, blah. You got to do all this stuff. And she's like, oh, not interested at all. But then the 4-year-old, I was like trying to accomplish like one of the things, and so I had to play through like 4 or 5 times.
But she's looking at you like you're a failure because she's like, this game's the easiest game in the world. I get on here, I play, I get a lot of points. It's so easy. I never fall. Like
why are you falling? Like this doesn't make any sense. But yeah, so I'm trying to do it, and I'm swearing. I'm like, fuck, shit, and she's like, Dad, I think maybe we should put on a different video game because you seem to be getting frustrated. And so rather than you get frustrated, and I was like, no, honey, like this is the thing is like, this is what makes it fun is that I can't get it the first time. It's like a challenge. And like when I overcome it, then I get the dopamine of like being like, yay, I did it. If I got it the first time every time, this would be a very boring
It's like
game.
me with fishing though, because I was like real into fishing because I could not catch a fish. And then I catch that humongous bass, and everybody's like, brother, it's all downhill from there. And I'm just like, now I don't even want to fish anymore. Yeah. Now I don't want to don't even want to fish. And plus, the next time I went fishing, I caught 2 fish.
Oh, did you?
Yeah, they weren't as big. So I was like, I'm not going to like take pictures of it. And
it's still fun.
One was a bluegill, and then one was a catfish, which I felt like a failure because I'm like not fishing for those. I'm fishing for bass.
Yeah, you don't really get to pick which fish you catch. Like, I mean, yes,
but you can fish for
your
like
bait. Definitely.
Like, imagine I catch this bass, all right, and I'm like, my third eye is open. I am one with nature. I am a pro bass fisherman. So I get to Old City Lake, and I'm just like, all right, now I see the way the current's going, and like you're like third eye on that shit, and you're like, this is where they are, and then your catch fish would be like, well, this ain't a bass. All right, put that back. And then you catch a fucking cat, and the catfish was like
a little
that
baby.
Big.
Yeah.
The bluegill was bigger than that.
Really?
Yeah. And I'm just like looking around at nobody else catching anything too, because so when I do something, I do a lot of research. Like every time I'm not catching a fish, I am not like going out in community and being like, hey, this is why I'm not catching. I'll go on to, once again, YouTube is the greatest because you have professionals there that are like, hey, this is what you're doing wrong. As long as they're not, well, this is why you're not catching fish because you don't have the new Lure Master 5000 where it spins and then it fucking fingers the fish in the butthole and they really fucking like it and you'll catch any fish you want. No, it's like people like doing like technique and stuff like that and like what you should be looking out for. I looked at a lot of those videos and I'm out there fishing and I'm like, nobody else is like going by what the people on the videos are. And I'm out there catching like the 2 fish and there's a guy. So I don't know. Old City Lake's a big circle. All right. I'm over here where the dam is and I'm on the other side of the dam. For the people who watch the video, I'm actually like doing where everything is. So I'm over here on the dam side and there's a guy over here with his kids and he's just like fishing where like people have their feet in the water and stuff like that. Which technically like how far he's casted now, he still wouldn't be like deep. But also there's no structure and I was like, well, they're not going to be hanging out, towards the shallow end with no structure. And also it's really hot out. So they're going to be hanging out during like
Deeper
towards
water.
the deeper water. But I am, fishing for bass. And I'm like, I don't think they're going to be out in the deeper part of the water because there's like the really big current from the dam. So I go over to the other side to where there's like, it's all shaded from the trees all day.
Yeah.
And, you got shit falling in the water from trees. So I'm like, this is where the fish are hanging out. And I'm catching these fish the whole time thinking I'm a failure. And if the guy across there knew that I was thinking that I was a failure, he probably wouldn't fish anymore, because every time like I catch fish, they'd be like, look, Daddy, that guy caught a fish. Look at that guy over there. He's getting the fish. The fish are over there, Dad. And the dad the whole time just like, well, it's not about it's about just being out here and relaxing. And I'm like, no, it's about catching these goddamn fish. But if you ain't really nothing, you're a failure. No, I'm just fucking with you. I wasn't like the czar of fishing, but still I was over there catching things that were not bass. What's so funny is my father-in-law, he like fished all those spots. He really liked fishing before, he died twice. By the way, guys, he's back home. Well, technically now he's back in the hospital because he got like E. coli and shit like that. And we got a staph infection from the surgery, and surgery is real hard. When you have a big surgery, they fucking put that thing in his leg and it took all the blood away so much that his leg was white. All the meat in his leg was white, and they thought they were going to have to amputate it. But he was like, yeah. And he was like, you can give up on that bass dream because all the years that I've been there, I've never caught a bass. So I catch that bass, and I'm just like, yeah.
The big one?
Well, yeah. And I was like, well, sometimes you just got to get good. You just got, I hate being me though, because I can't fucking do anything unless I'm being competitive. Like I can't enjoy something unless I'm like I can't just do something. I can't sit down and play a casual game with friends. I can't sit down and do fucking casually. I'm like, I got to be the best like no one ever was. To catch them is my real test. I swear to God, like if you understood Pokemon, you'd understand I was singing the intro. But that's what I want to do. Like I'm sitting there talking about how, I'm playing Pokemon on my phone and that it's real relaxing, when in all actuality, I am at the Battlefront tier, which is like a post-game thing, and it simulates like competitive battling where you got to focus on EVs and IVs, which is like a hidden stat in Pokemon. People that enjoy Pokemon that played the games might know what I'm talking about. That's how hidden this shit is. Someone can do a whole playthrough of Pokemon and not know what an EV or an IV is. But I'm doing that to like fucking battle against these guys, and then I'll like get my ass whooped because the AI for the Pokemon games like will get extraordinarily lucky. It's called hacks. But they'll get extraordinarily lucky where you won't. So you have to build like this, super consistent weird thing and like keep working on things, and it's a really tough challenge, and that's what I'm doing in Pokemon. I can't ever just like and just fucking enjoy it.
Yeah.
I can't just be out there fucking playing with my Squirtles, okay? I can't do that. I have to be like, all right, well, I have a steel psychic. It's going to be weak to, a dark type attack, which I don't know if this is when steel resisted dark. Yeah, I'm doing a playthrough of Gen 4, so steel resist dark. So what would she be? What the fuck would a steel psychic? Fire. Oh yeah, I'm getting too deep. I'm sorry, guys.
Real deep.
Yep. See, because I start thinking about it.
Well, there's like
and what I could build.
I think this is one of the biggest things with any of these games or anything like that. 90% of it is the jargon, like what means what, and like most games aren't super complicated except for how much terminology and like what the backstory is for things. Like if you understand a lot of that, it's not that hard, and probably going from like one of your card games to another isn't as hard as like learning the first one. Like it's like learning a foreign language. Like learning a second language sucks, absolutely, but then throwing that third one in is slightly less sucky. So if you know how to play Magic the Gathering, a jump to Pokemon's probably pretty easy, or going from Pokemon to Yu-Gi-Oh! Probably not that hard,
none of those games share any commonality.
But it's still a concept. Like it's still like there's terminology. They can't be that fucking
You don't even
dude.
understand.
They can't be that different, dude. Like it's a card game.
So
like,
besides having a deck, okay, you're telling me you're saying they can't be that different. Okay. Besides having a deck, like having cardboard, Magic the Gathering, and Yu-Gi-Oh! Share no commonality. Zero. Like one is like a resource-oriented game. You play lands to cast, and the other one is like wombo combo, I'm going to play out my whole hand. I'm going to build a board where you can't break it. Like the cards can do things. That's another commonality. But after that, they
That's
really
what I'm
do.
getting at. Like, yes,
Like
there is commonality.
You could play
to them.
Magic the Gathering your whole life.
That's like saying
and
that,
then
like,
try to touch Yu-Gi-Oh! And you'd be like, I don't understand a thing that's going on in this game.
but that's like saying that, like, playing fucking poker versus playing blackjack is totally different. Like,
No. That would be like in Magic the Gathering playing Standard versus playing Commander within the realm of Magic, like the universe of Magic the Gathering. Once you like branch out, it would be like playing poker versus playing Uno. Like, yes, you're playing cards, but the cards do vastly different things.
yes, but if you understand a card game, you're going to be better suited to know the next card game. Like, yes, playing Pokemon is better preparing you than coming in from nowhere. It just is. Like, having some understanding of one of these fucking card games.
Pokemon, I would say yes, because like it's also resource based. But if you played Magic the Gathering and then tried to play Yu-Gi-Oh, it does not matter how much you know about Magic the Gathering, the card game, and what they do. It translates zero to Yu-Gi-Oh.
I'm not saying that it like makes you a good player. I'm saying you at least understand the basis. Like, somebody could explain the rules to you a lot faster than Joe Schmo that's never played it before in their life.
You couldn't, because when I tell you how vastly different, it's apples to oranges, night and day, how different Magic the Gathering is to Yu-Gi-Oh.
Then why is it that so many people that play one of these games plays the other games?
What do you mean?
There's got to be some sort of like thread in the middle of it.
I think they just like card games.
Okay, then there's some thread to it that makes it so that you can jump from one to the next and like be at least understanding.
I think that's why they play both of them, is because of how vast. Like anybody who plays these games will understand what I'm saying.
Yeah, and like if you're thick in the sauce, all I'm saying is you take Joe Schmo that's never played a fucking card game, and then somebody that's played one of the two of them, the person that's played one of those games probably is going to pick it up quicker than Joe Schmo that's never played a fucking card game in their life. So there has to be some sort of basis of terminology and understanding of how the game works, how a card game works, like playing with the little fucking stories and all this other stuff. The person playing any of those games, Pokemon, Yu-Gi-Oh, Magic the Gathering, something like that,
I would say it
would
gives
have
you
a better understanding.
You would have a slight advantage just because you understood things like resource management and stuff like that, which is not necessarily a card game thing. It's a overall strategy in, you know, video games and everything like that.
Yeah.
Like
like if you took somebody playing Magic the Gathering and then threw them on to play a fucking video game where you have to understand all the controls and the moves and all that stuff, like it's not going to translate.
That would be the same as learning Yu-Gi-Oh. Yes, that would be the same as learning Yu-Gi-Oh.
I don't get what we just said then. Like I don't get what you just agreed with.
Because you said it wouldn't translate that well than playing video games, but it would translate almost exactly to a T. Like you'd still have like some things in that game. You'd have like life.
Well,
and stuff
yeah,
like that.
I'm saying if you had like, I'm not saying if you played Magic the Gathering card game and then tried to play it on a fucking console. I'm saying like if you went
imagine
from
I'm
playing,
sitting here talk about cameras, bro. I don't know a goddamn thing about cameras and videos, and you like know all this stuff, and I'm saying something so like egregiously wrong. And
no, but see, this would be like if you took fucking photos on your camera or on your phone, and then you actually do that, and then I try to teach you how to use a professional camera. You would have at least an understanding.
Do you know what Phase 10 is?
It's a fucking like Uno type game, isn't it?
Okay, so if you play Texas Hold'em the whole time, okay,
Yeah.
and then I taught you how to play Phase 10, do you think you're going to be? I mean, besides like knowing,
if you've never played cards at all, ever, never played any sort of numbered card game,
but you're
then yes,
like
you
I'm
would know
saying,
it
like
better than a person that
slightly,
doesn't know.
right?
Yes,
Slightly.
and that's the point that I'm
the
getting.
translation over to Yu-Gi-Oh is this very minimal, very slight, because of how vastly different they are.
Yes.
Where Pokemon, like if someone's coming in from not Pokemon to Magic the Gathering, because Magic's probably the hardest resource-based card game to learn, where Yu-Gi-Oh's the hardest card game to learn. It is just the hardest.
I thought you said it was just stupid easy. Like I thought Yu-Gi-Oh, you were like, it's like 2 turns and then done. And it's
that does
just
not
like,
mean that it's easy. There's a lot of like interaction.
You said it was extremely boring.
Because okay, so a lot of it is, it's very RNG based, where
Use the word so that people know, because I don't know what RNG means.
Random, numerical generated, whatever.
And this is what my topic began with, was the terminology. When you start saying RNG, nobody has the basis.
But
for what that means.
That's not a card game thing. That's a thing, and that's just a.
It's not a thing in life. It's
RNG is just. It's in a lot of things though.
It's in certain style
RNG
of video
is
games.
luck. I don't know what RNG stands for.
Okay, but like that's the thing is the terminology. That's exactly my point. Is if you don't understand a lot of this terminology, you are just speaking in a third language that a lot of people don't understand. And so yes, for you that makes sense. And like
random number generator. All right, so that's but what it like it's not actually
that's
a random
what I'm getting at though is like your
RNG
ability to know all these little acronyms and all these little things. If you know it from one game, you will then be able to understand what somebody is talking about in another game.
Resource management, RNG and stuff like that is not a card game exclusive thing.
Yes, it's a gaming thing.
But it's not a card game exclusive thing.
It is predominantly, I've never heard of that, and I play video games and stuff like that. I don't play like Elden Ring and like certain games along those lines. So a lot of that stuff doesn't get translated.
It's not like you're playing against somebody.
Yeah. And so that's what my point is a lot of it comes down to the terminology, the understanding of how the concept works. It might not be apples to oranges, like apples to apples type. If you know how to play this game, you know how to play this game. That's my point, is the terminology and the understanding of what you're talking about is 90% of it before you even get to the actual rules of the game. Because you're talking in all these terms, you're like, well, and you do the IV and then the EV and then all this stuff. If you don't actually ever break down what that stuff is,
if I told you, okay, if you have a deck of cards and I say, all right, so this phase is the draw phase, what do you assume you would do during that phase?
You draw a fucking card.
Okay.
Which you understand because you played a card game before. Like I've played poker, so I know draw.
I think anybody would understand draw phase because you draw a card. Like
if you've played a card game before, if you've never played a card game before, you would not.
I think like with just like the poker and like Texas Hold'em and stuff like that, I think, people know what drawing is.
If I were to talk to my 13-year-old who does not play card games, I probably would have to explain. And that's, once again, back to my point of the understanding of certain terminology, certain things. Like to you, it's natural because you played this literally since you were a teenager, right? So you've got more time playing this video or this card games than you have.
But I just asked you what someone who doesn't play card games.
I do play card games, just not RPG or whatever the fuck terminology you put on these cards.
Yeah, but okay, so like once again, I don't think what I'm saying is the rollover of information that you get from Magic the Gathering would not roll over enough to where you would have that advantage. Like if you just knew the fundamentals of how to play Magic, not that you're like good at it or anything like that, the fundamentals of like that rolls over into Yu-Gi-Oh would not give you an advantage over somebody who has common sense. Like if I told you you had life points, okay, it would be common sense that you don't want those to run out, right? That you don't want to hit 0 life points, right?
Yeah.
So the common sense aspect of the differences between, or the similarities between, having life in a card game, drawing a card during a card game, that stuff, I don't think it would, even if you played card games, would give you the competitive edge, because that's just like common sense stuff. When I try to explain how vastly, just crazily different these two card games are.
And that's fine. I'm saying the terminology, a lot of the things, you break it down into acronyms all the time. And so that's where you lose me. Like, I think
if you were learning, like if you went from Magic and then you learned Yu-Gi-Oh from somebody who played Magic, maybe, because they could like kind of compare stuff.
Yes.
But it is like a whole genre on YouTube to like read cards to like Yu-Gi-Oh players reading cards to Magic players reading cards to Yu-Gi-Oh players to determine if that card is good or not. And then they are shocked and awed. That's why it's such a big thing, because these, like, it's so vastly different. They're like, what the fuck? Like they read this big card and it's like, no, because our card game's so much vastly different. This card fucking sucks. Yeah. Like in Yu-Gi-Oh, you could have a card that says, you start with 8,000 life points. You could have a card that says pay 7,999 life points. For the rest of the game, you cannot draw a card. If you do not win on this turn, you lose the game, draw 2 cards. And that card would get banned. Like you could not, like, competitively.
Yeah, it ends the game pretty much.
No. You lose the game if you don't win this turn. That's what it's saying. Yeah. You pay all your life points but 1 life point, and then you draw 2 cards, okay? In Magic the Gathering, you could have, tap 3, discard 7 cards, draw 7 cards. In Yu-Gi-Oh, there's a card ban that says draw 3 cards, discard 2 cards. Like it's so vastly different in how they're played, how you get resources. Because in Magic the Gathering, it's a resource-based game. In Yu-Gi-Oh, you don't need resources. Anything in your hand, you can just kind of play down and do things with. Every summoning mechanic is different. The attack step's different. All this stuff it's like completely different to. I wonder how people who do not play card games at all are listening to this.
Well, that's what I'm getting at, though. Is like
I think you should play it. It is fun. You should try it out. Look, it is a little bit nerdy, but
that's my whole point, though. Is like there's so much learning to it, and if you know one of them, you are better suited to then pick up the other one. Just because like there is so much nerdiness around the fucking game that like if I were to teach you how to play fucking Tony Hawk Pro Skater and know how to do all the combos and all that stuff in it, it would translate substantially easier to another fucking extreme sport, whether it was biking, snowboarding, something like that. Even though they're completely different, you're doing different things. You're not doing grabs. You're not doing that.
I kind of see, look, listen, when you said that, I get like the maybe because like you know how to, control your analog sticks and stuff like that. And,
better than if you were to switch to Zelda or something.
Yeah, but
that's a totally different.
It's just
concept.
How crazily different they are.
Yeah, they can be a completely different game. All I'm getting at is there's a lot. Like this is my thing with cameras. That was your example. If you know the terminology of a camera, it can be a totally different operating system, and you will find your way. You won't be as good as somebody that's native to that.
Don't use my thing to turn it around to prove your point. Don't do that.
All I'm getting at is the terminology is the vast majority of like. That's why I don't understand these card games. Is because like you, especially, you like to truncate and shorten every little thing. You're like a Gen Z guy, like telling people like bet, no cap, blah blah blah. Like you use all the terminology of the card games, and then you're just like, you don't understand what I'm talking about? But no, it's a whole nother language that you're talking about.
How am I truncating if I'm shortening? That's
truncating is shorting.
No, truncating is elongating something.
Is it?
Yeah, blowing it out of proportion.
I thought it was.
Look, I just learned something.
Well, I'm gonna have to look.
Don't ever say, and also if there's people on here, if that's like a common thing, don't ever say you don't listen to Mike and Dylan Hate Drama and learn something.
Oh yeah, they're gonna.
It's like, yeah, we gotta listen to mom and dad argue about a card game for 10 minutes.
They like when mom and dad argue.
They do. They enjoy it.
And then they get on one side or the other and tell the other person why they're
usually my side because they, watched the work videos for years, so they have.
I don't know. There's a good amount of Team Dylan on there, but it's.
I think the Michael Legion. That's what we need to do. We need to do like a Team Edward, Team.
Yeah.
Jacob shirt.
Yeah, yours are gonna sell out more.
I want to be the pedophile werewolf guy.
Is that what? No. He wasn't a pedophile. He was
he was attracted to Bella because of the kid she was going to have in the future. And then like, I understand he's like the kid's protector, but it came off like real, I'm gonna diddle this kid. I can't wait for it to get older so I can bang it.
Well, he already liked Bella before.
No, but he liked Bella because of the kid she was going to have. Listen, bro, don't tell me about this shit. I've had to watch it multiple times.
I thought it was like movie 2 or something when she was getting pregnant that he was like about the kid.
No, movie 2 is where Jacob like, he's a werewolf. 3 is, so there's Twilight, New Moon,
something Dawn,
Breaking Dawn. I think that's the last ones, right?
And that was 2 of them. It was broken.
Yeah, that was Breaking. Eclipse. Eclipse was the third one, where they had like they were making the new little vampires, and then Breaking Dawn Part 1 is where she gets pregnant, and they all go to this house to fight the Volturi, who are look. I know a lot about. Listen. My girl is just like, I love this. This is what people don't understand. Like, if your girl is really into something and you're like, man, this is the dumbest shit I have ever fucking laid eyes on. If you're sitting there watching it with her, like, oh my God, like, listen, the twists and turns, which there is none in Twilight, not a single one. Everything's super fucking telegraphed. Everything is so telegraphed. But if you're like, wow, that's a crazy thing that just happened there. If you sit there and you watch 2 Twilight episodes while she's like snuggled on you, you are getting fucked. Like she is going to ride that thing like it's the first time y'all met. And I don't understand because guys will just be like, my wife never wants to do anything. I was like, well, what do you do with her that makes her feel like a person? You know, because as soon as
Wait, you're
you
supposed to make them feel like
yeah,
people?
it's crazy. It's a crazy thought. I
will
would have never thought it, but you know,
I will find something other up.
wait, I want to make it more offensive. Anytime I want pussy, I make her feel like a human, and then she wants to sleep with me. You got to make it bad.
No, I miss out on that because, like, yeah, I will not sit and watch Twilight. I'll
It's
go
just
find something else to do.
Like the easiest way. Well, I think
My wife went through when we first started dating and everything. She went through on the new Netflix account that she was attached to, or whichever one of them had it at the time, but Vampire Diaries started from fucking episode 1 all the way through. She actually wanted to name one of our kids after one of the characters on there. I was like, no.
Which one?
Alaric. If it was a boy, she wanted to name it Alaric. I was like, fuck no.
Alaric is like I think he was a teacher. And then Vampire Diaries, I watched that with her too.
You know, my buddy was in that one.
Was he?
Yeah.
That was one of the what did he do? What did he play as?
He got decapitated. I can't remember.
Nice. A lot of people did.
But then he got paid also because they showed his decapitated face, so that accounted as him being on
camera. Yeah, that's dope. Yeah, see, I just want something like that. But yeah, he was like the teacher character. He's a real.
Yeah, wasn't he like one of the dads or no?
No. He's not one of the dads. He's like a dad figure on there. But he was essentially one of those where everybody's like, you don't know if they're good or evil, yada yada yada. He's like one of the standard I'm a good guy instead of like the standard I'm a bad guy, or everybody's so.
I just couldn't imagine my kid getting picked on, because with a name like Alaric, you're getting picked on at school. You are.
So what's so funny though is that, you know, Vampire Diaries was like a thing where I'd walk in the room and I'd sit down, I'd be like, this dumb shit. I'd be playing my Pokemon, and then I'd look up and I'd be looking at the screen and I'm like, damn, he really did. Well, shit. I think she's falling in love with the brother. And then, you know, you just like start, and you're like, well, let me watch a couple of the beginning episodes so I know what I'm talking about. You know, I don't want to sit here and say things that are just dumb and agree. Like, act like I know about card games, you know. Let me sit here and watch this. And then I was just like, you know what? Fuck it. This is all right. Towards the end though, and that's one thing with a lot of the shows she showed me, is that it gets repetitive. Just very, very, like True Blood. We watched that too. True Blood was really, really good for like 3 seasons, and then it's just like, all right, we're gonna introduce this. We're gonna have our Sookie and Bill get fucking mad at each other, and something's gonna happen. They're gonna come together. They're gonna beat the bad person or whatever. And it just like kept repeating and like just the same cycle of.
So when they say that, like, because this is one thing they talk about with like porn and guys is like, they keep looking for like edgier and like crazier porn to watch. Like, is that where women have gotten to? Like, they started with like Twilight and fucking True Blood and all that stuff, and then it got to like 50 Shades of Grey, and then from 50 Shades of Grey, it's
because I think those are different.
It's like dragons.
Those are different demographics. Like when you're in 50 Shades of Grey, like if your girl has a 50 Shades of Grey love, I'm just like, I think they're a romanticizer, where people who like True Blood and Twilight and stuff like that, they like fantasy stuff. It's just like in Star Wars and shit like that. It's exactly like in that. People love a fantasy world where there's fucking dragons and powers and shit like that. I think where it's different is a guy's like, I want to see a guy overcome something, and a woman will be like, well, fuck, I like a fantasy land, but there's no goddamn prominent women in Lord of the Rings. There's no fucking big woman character that's like out there fucking.
I was talking more about the romance.
No, that's what I'm saying. There's a difference. There's a difference. There's a romanticizer who likes the romance aspect. It doesn't have to be in a fantasy type thing. Like my wife, all the books she reads, all the shows she watches is like fantasy stuff, dragons, vampires, werewolves, shit like that. Just like a guy would if it didn't have the, the emotional lovey-dovey aspect of it. It was like an adventure thing and overcoming obstacles, because that's how a guy views himself, as like, like if he was put into a predicament, would he be the hero? Would he be a villain? It's honestly the same thing. Like when a guy watches anime and then they're like talking shit about like Vampire Diaries, bro, there is no anime that has more depth than Vampire Diaries. They have the same amount of depth. If you're sitting there talking shit about Twilight, I am sorry. Every single anime you have, they'll be like, well, this guy's conflicted. He has the same, either face arc where he turns into a good guy, turn into a bad guy arc, bad guy turn into a good guy arc. Well, he's bad because of this really traumatic thing that, you know, he didn't want to go through. He had to go through it, and that's what made him a villain. Bro, there's no substance in either one of them. People just like it because it is like this, you know, fantasy thing. Is it good? Is it? And then literally, like, the judge of animes is like, well, how much talking did they do versus like action, and vice versa? Because in Dragon Ball Z, you have no action, fuckloads of talking, and you're like, Jesus Christ, guys, fucking fight each other. And in something like Attack on Titan, like, they'll give you one plot point and you'll be like, oh, fucking cliffhanger, I want to know what happens. And you'll get 4 episodes of fighting and you're just like, stop, just run away. You don't even have to do this. Like, just stop fucking fighting for 5 seconds so we can get some goddamn plot. There is literally as much depth in Vampire Diaries, Twilight as there are in animes. There's no anime you're going to watch that is going to fucking like shock you to your core. There's no anime you're going to watch that has all these like just like big brain twists, turns. Literally all of them have the same style characters, just like in American film today, the same like, you know, typecasting. Of course you could have good, like really well-written characters in anime, but it's nothing different than anything that a woman has watched where there's not been a character in it. But they'll talk shit about each other. They'll be like, oh, that guy likes nerdy stuff. It's the same thing you're watching. Or that, you know, guy will be like, oh, she likes these, ooh, a very romance, love me, Stefan type shit. And it's the same thing he watches. And it's so weird because y'all are watching, like I have watched both, and I could be like, y'all are watching the same fucking thing. I was watching Naruto, okay? You don't know anything about Naruto.
I don't.
So, Naruto, his father was a very prominent figure, like a president called a Hokage. He didn't know that, okay? A demon attacked their village, and the dad sealed that demon inside of his son before he died. That was his dying thing. That's what he died doing, okay? And nobody talked about him being the Hokage, who was the president. Then nobody talked about him being, because that would put him in more danger than already having that demon inside of him. Okay, so he grows up as an orphan. Everybody's like scared of him because they don't know that he's like this hero son, and he's like an outcast. Okay, so he befriends another outcast. That's what they like. He wants to befriend on him. Actually, it's like this fucking just bond, this destiny bond that they always had. I'm not going to get into that part, but he befriends this kid Sasuke, and now Sasuke was part of a clan called the Uchihas. They could do these power with their eyes. It's Sharingan, okay? That was their power. Kind of all these clans have different powers and things that they can do. Unless nobody cares about your character, then we're not going to write any powers for them. They're just regular ass fucking ninjas that's going to die off screen. But Sasuke, people talk about Sasuke in like the Naruto form. Like, I joined a Naruto subreddit and I literally had to get out of it because of how much they're like, you know, fuck you guys. Like, he had to go through so much as a kid and all this stuff. And because his brother killed his whole clan, all the people in there, wiped him out.
Whose brother?
Sasuke's brother. Yeah, so Sasuke grew up with this family. All of them got murdered by his brother, who then like tormented him, put him through a thing called Tsukiyomi, where for years he's getting tormented in his mind. It only lasts seconds. He has to relive the deaths over and over again. So he's like, you know, a really fucked up kid. And that's who, you know, Naruto attaches to. And everybody's just like, they're so enthralled with, because he's like the cool guy, the mysterious, doesn't really give information away. So all these weebs fucking nut hug this guy, and they're like, well, you don't understand, like, if Sasuke could have done this and done that. I'm like, Sasuke is a fictional character that was written. He didn't do this because the writers didn't write that. Okay, he did something. He was this powerful because the writers wrote that. Like, there's not an actual, Sasuke's not out here doing all these fucking, you know, big brain things because so Naruto is an anime that says hard work beats talent when talent refuses to work hard. That's what they're trying to go for. Mm-hmm. But they made the genius kid, because the Sharingan is like the greatest ability you can have, like as a clan, the eyes, okay? Mm-hmm. Well, they also made him a genius. So out the gate, you're starting off with
powers.
Yes. But then also he does like work his ass off.
Yeah.
Like, he trains his ass off. He's not like a lazy guy. He's constantly working. Naruto is like the kid is like the tarnish of no renown. Like he's just an orphan. That's what everybody believes. He's just this orphan, and he just works hard every day to prove that he isn't what everybody thinks he is. That's what the story's supposed to be.
Yeah.
And then they kind of lose that after in Shippuden, which is like they're teenagers instead of kids. Naruto was when they were kids. Naruto Shippuden's when they're teenagers. They have this thing where like they're trying to get the demon out of Naruto. Akatsuki arc, and it ends with them fighting this guy Pain. If the show would have just ended there, because then the whole village loves Naruto and they accept him, and they, you know, it goes through the timetable of them talking shit about him to finally accepting him. If it would have just ended there, really good. But then they were just like, you know what, we're going to take all these things and we're just going to kind of like, because then Sasuke still had that like good guy, I'm not going to kill people. He turned evil. He was like an antagonist throughout Shippuden. Not really an antagonist, but it shows him trying to like go his own path, which is not what everybody else would have done. It's kind of what bad guys would do, but he's still like showing the good, even though he's not a bad guy. And then after that, where they were like, you know what, we're just gonna now make him like an irredeemable bad guy. And everybody's like, well, you had to see it coming. And it's like, no. If right now, I told you about Ted Bundy killing all these people, you know what I'm saying? You would be like, wow, that's a fucking terrible guy. Well, I'll be like, well, you don't understand his childhood. His family got murdered in front of him and all that stuff. And then nobody's going to be like, wow, deep character. Like, what the fuck? Because he finds out, I don't want to spoil it. No, I don't want to spoil the show for anybody. Animes are weird, and like how fast somebody will like watch it. Because like, you know, that kind of culture is picking up. So something I'm like, you know, fuck, I watched that show 15 years ago, was done with that shit. Somebody might be picking up on it now, but the reason for why he then is like, wow, I'll kill everybody.
Well, see, that's the craziest thing about like, and I get that the first time watching stuff, you don't want like, you know, spoilers, but I've watched multiple series like knowing exactly what's going to happen, and it's still an intriguing enough story that I'll watch it again and again and
Jesus
again.
Christ. Amy's dad, like he has gotten us onto so many shows, but that's how he always starts. He's like, you guys got to watch Game of Thrones. They make you fall in love with every character. And then there's this Red Wedding where they just fucking kill off all these main characters. And I'm like, why? Why would I want to watch it now if you're like telling me the biggest part? And then I actually watch it. And I'm just like, even though I know what happens, there's still like stuff that happens in between. And I'm like, wow. Game of Thrones was so good. That is the one show like Lost. Because anytime I talk about it, I've never seen Lost. I don't want to do it just because
the ending.
I didn't have the hindsight of like how bad the last season of Game of Thrones would be, but I had season 8 of Game of Thrones was terrible, and they destroyed so many character arcs. They rushed through it because they wanted to go shoot that fucking Star Wars movie, and then they did so bad that they were like, "You're not touching Star Wars," which made me feel good on the inside. But Lost, I think that is the worst, and I like Game of Thrones, so the fact that I say I like Game of Thrones and I thought season 8 sucked, but I'm saying Lost is worse, even though that's saying something, because there's a scene in one of the seasons where they talk about the island being like a cork, okay? And if this cork gets pulled, then like all this bad shit happens, and this island that they're on is like a cork. And then it's like a very figurative, like really good, beautiful thing to say. Like it makes you kind of understand with depth, and there's like this gravitas to it that's just like, fuck, it's like a cork, and it's, you know, you pull the cork and then all this fucking shit will happen and the whole world like fucking implodes and shit. And then season 8 happened, or their last season happens, which is I don't know what season it was for them. And then you find out when they get to the location of where everything's at, it's a fucking cork.
A legit
big wooden cork in this fucking thing, and the corniest goddamn thing you could ever
CGI
fucking the corniest fucking thing you could fucking imagine.
No, see, it was a cork. We told you it was a cork.
Game of Thrones was so bad because like they literally took a guy who fucked his sister, had children with his sister, killed people we liked, and just overall douchebag. Built him up as a douchebag for 2 seasons where, I mean, you wanted this whole family to die in the most horrible way. And then slowly over time, like you just like, I'm not going to like him. Like there's no way you get me to fucking like him. And as you keep going and going, you're like, fucking, like, Jamie, get out of there. You're going to die, bud. Run. And then literally within 2 episodes, he starts dating a character we all love. And you know, she feels like nobody can love her because she's very masculine and shit like that. And her and Jamie have a relationship. Well, right after they have sex, he's like, I don't love you. And then goes back to his sister, the bitch we fucking hate, to die with her. In 2 episodes, it's just like, I'm fucking ruining 5 seasons.
And then just
5 seasons of fucking just building it up. Okay. And then, because people will be like, well, you know, there were some Targaryens to go. There was a lot of Targaryens that didn't go mad. It's not a thing about, is it in your bloodline to go fucking mad? But Daenerys, like, for freeing all these slaves, and then season 8 starts. She has, like, had no hint of she's going to turn bad. There's no build up to it. She just starts fucking killing innocent people after her whole thing was, like, freeing slaves and stuff like that. She was just so angry. She had to kill all these innocent people and for fucking no reason. And then you get to the big threat. The big threat was the White Walkers. Like, we all knew, like, the Game of Thrones, the politicking, that was the show. The overarching thing was like, what fucking happens when this army of undead, like, can these people who are arguing unite to fight a common enemy? And it's a real good play on life, and it's very, very poetic. They were like, we're going to make it so dark you cannot see anything. If they're fighting at night, by the way, if there's a big CGI happening at night, it was because they were like, fuck, we don't know if we can make this look good. Because dark CGI, doing CGI at night's better than day.
Yeah.
So you can't see fucking nothing. They fight undramatically, like no big characters die, and that's what we thought. We were going to lose a lot of people. No real big characters that people were going to be like, well, Jorah wasn't a big character. Shut the fuck up. It was a side character. And then, like, you have this child of prophecy, like this child born of fire and ice. And he is supposed to, you know, destroy the big bad, whatever. And it's his sister who kills the Night King.
You know what's funny is we started this conversation down this road with you not wanting to ruin anime for people by giving them the details.
No, I'm warning people not to watch Game of Thrones. That's what I'm doing. I'm like, don't watch it. I'm going to spoil it for you so you don't. Because there's people to this day that's like, you know, everybody
when did you start it? Like, what season was it on when you started?
6.
See, I think that's about when people were telling me to start it, and I was like, that's just so much fucking watching that I have to do.
That's like, the best. That is the best. I don't want to watch a show. I don't want to start a show in the first season because I don't want to watch. Like, imagine the Game of Thrones was still that beautiful moment where you had to watch every single week. Season. But yeah, I can watch a whole thing of Stranger Things.
Yeah.
I can watch a whole season of something. I'm not saying I don't want to start something where it's like you watch an episode, and then you gotta wait, and then you watch an episode.
I'll wait till the season's over.
That's what I'm talking about. Like, you had 6 seasons of just stuff to binge, so that's what I prefer.
That's the part, like, that's the our new marketing strategy part of me. Like, this is how you do successful things in life, and like I've gotten myself away from, like, because I am an addict when it comes to like starting a show. I'm just like, I want to watch the next episode and next episode.
Well, I just got to find out what happens.
Yeah, and so like I will literally stay up all fucking night and then not get any sleep and then come into work and I'm just like, oh god,
a good show does that though.
Yes, and like I've done that so many times.
A bad show cannot do that.
I did that like as soon as Ozark came, like the newest season. Like I was just like, all right, I'm just gonna watch one episode.
I really need to go back and watch because it was starting to pick up. It just takes so fucking long to really.
That's the type of stuff that I'm into, though. Is like it's more.
Yeah, but I've seen enough shows where it starts to build and then they just fucking do fuck all.
They
with
did
it.
Great with theirs. I feel like they played it out in a very good way that it didn't feel drug out. It felt like it was nice and encapsulated, all the things kind of buttoned up at the end. Like, I mean, there's stuff that I didn't like about it, but it was overall the best small encapsulated show that I've seen.
I never judge someone when they're like, I just couldn't get into Breaking Bad because the first couple episodes, it is like a slog.
Oh yeah.
And we understand like, well
See, I was in love from like 5 minutes in, but that was just me knowing what was like about to come of the chaos.
It's weird because I think until episode 3 you don't really get that. You have to watch and see what happens next. Like if you're like, yeah, I watched the first season, I just couldn't get it. I'm just like, it only goes up from there too. Like It's a great season and it only goes. But if they're like, yeah, I watched the first 2 episodes, I just couldn't do anything.
I think that's where the ending kind of messed with me though, because it was like you had to watch and like so like I was anticipating it so bad that like I would watch it week by week and it was just like, God, you feels like you're dragging this out.
You know,
like,
Breaking Bad wasn't shit until season 4 though, right?
What do you mean? Like
how many they have? How many seasons they have?
It was only 4 or 5, wasn't it?
Was it 4 or 5? I think it was 7.
Was it 7?
I can't remember.
I can't remember. But
Yeah, I
there
think
was,
7 was. I think it had 7 seasons.
whichever way it played out, like when it was getting towards the end, I was like, okay, I feel like you guys are just dragging this thing out. Like,
No, that's when it got. That's when it actually like got mainstream big.
but
Because
did
I
you
watched so
watch
many
it?
people like talk about it.
Did you watch it through like while it was airing?
The
or did
last
you-
season,
Okay.
like the final, because remember they split the last season into 2 seasons. I think it is 7 seasons. It might be 5 seasons. No, it's 5 seasons. Yeah.
seasons,
See, I was right before you said it. I was like, it's 5 seasons. Yeah.
Yeah.
Season 4 is when it got big. So it got big a season before it ended.
Yeah, I was watching it from day one.
No,
but-
I watched and then so I could catch up to the season 5 part 2.
Yeah.
So it's like 6 seasons. That's why I was confused on how many seasons because they split it up into 2 different seasons.
Was it 2?
I've not watched
Was
Better
it
Call
split
Saul
on
at all.
there? A lot of people said that Better Call Saul is
It's
like
better.
right up there. Yeah, if
I
not
think
better.
I false claimed one time to watch Better Call Saul because I don't want to tell people that I haven't seen it and they'll be like, it's better than Breaking Bad. And I'm just like, I don't know.
I love when they like that is one thing that I love about it doesn't feel like a rehash. It feels like telling a different part of the story. And that's what I love is like, you know, not necessarily like telling the after or the before, but like picking a character that is a very influential character and then like telling the backstory behind them. Those are cool breakoffs for
I like that
in my
sometimes.
opinion.
I enjoy a story. Like I have enough knowledge of Better Call Saul. Like I've seen every episode's highlights of Better.
Oh, really?
So I know the whole fucking like I know about like Lalo
Doesn't
and
that
shit like
kind of
that.
ruin it though?
No, I did that because I didn't want to watch it.
Oh.
Because I don't want to sit there. I don't care how much more you try to get me to like Mike or, you know, his backstory on how like everything fit in with the fucking Salamancas and everything like that. If I know that he died beside a lake because of a fucking megalomaniac, you know what I'm saying? He didn't have like, I know his story and how I know the ending of his story. Jesus Christ. Fucking don't look, I'm gonna get it. Wait a second. It's coming to me. Jesus Christ. I can remember see everybody's fucking name. The guy who ran the chicken place,
Oh,
Kingpin guy.
what's that sound or no?
No,
Herm.
it sounds like you're not getting. Wait, no. Because Hermanos is the chicken's place. Is
Yeah.
the chicken place. Los Hermanos. Look, I can remember that. Don't tell me I'm gonna remember. All right, but we're gonna keep talking about it. Like him, I know that he. You know, I know what happens to him. Don't look him up because it's gonna come to me.
You know, Mike wasn't supposed to be a big character, right? Like he.
Yeah, I know.
Basically,
but it was like Jesse. Jesse wasn't supposed to be a big character.
Oh, really?
Really? Yeah. Jesse was supposed to die at the end of season 1, but people liked him. So
What?
they kept with him. Yes, Jesse was not supposed to be.
That's crazy.
That was kind of like they had a story and they kind of knew where they wanted to go with it. And then they just kind of.
Yeah, without Jesse, like I don't know, like because that was such a good dynamic of like the constant push and pull between the two, like you know, both of them kind of fucking up their way through like becoming
only
these
thing I hate-
gigantic drug kingpins.
The only thing I hate is like people will be like, man, you know, Better Call Saul, the big brains they had to fucking, you know, when they're about to kill Saul Goodman. And he's like, well, they have the grave dug, Jesse and Walter, they have the fucking grave dug. And he's like, did Lalo send you guys? And like, that's when you hear about Lalo, who doesn't fucking appear until a whole new show. Like they had that. And I'm like, yeah, you can say anything right there and then build the character behind it. Like it doesn't have to fit at all. But I don't know. It's just like, I watched it through like the highlights and stuff like that because like, I'm so uninterested. Like I'm not going to, fuck, what is it? Have you looked it up yet?
No.
Because I cannot think about what the fuck. I'm saying I could say side characters' names, everything like that. If I forget a name, I'm fucked. Who owned Los Hermanos? What the fuck is his name? And look, people are probably screaming at their phones right now who are listening. Jesus. Gus Fring. God bless America. Look. I don't know what, and what's so funny is if you have someone who's watched the show and you've watched Better Call Saul, I
haven't watched. I've watched of the first like few episodes. That's one of the things is like when it's released weekly, it's so easy to fall out of like, oh, I just don't watch that anymore. And at the first onset of Better Call Saul, I was watching it weekly because it was on like what, FX at the time.
Yeah.
And so it was like weekly being put out, and I'm just like, meh, I haven't watched it. And so like I have not seen, I don't think
Was it
I've
not
seen,
on AMC?
or AMC, whichever one it was. Like
I don't remember if it was on.
But it was a
FX or-
weekly. It wasn't dropped like, you know, when Stranger Things dropped. I watched all of it like within the first like 3 days.
The thing about it is too is if something is like if it's a weekly fucking show, you don't know when to jump ship to. Like if you're sitting there watching it and there's nothing like that's getting you to watch the next episode, then you can be like, okay, this show sucks. I can break away from it. But like The Walking Dead, you have 2 of the greatest seasons in episodic series history.
Yeah, great. Just fantastic.
Amazing. The Walking Dead, the first and second season, some of the greatest television you could ever watch. If you're like, hey, show ends there, fucking phenomenal. One of the greatest shows of all time.
Yeah.
And then you get to season 3 and you're like, well,
it's just good enough to keep me coming
back.
Yeah,
it's all right. We got some, and then like season 4 and then season 5, and you're getting just so far away because they split up the plot so much. Everything's so fucking redundant.
Well, and you get like such tiny little, like you've got 7 stories going on, and so you get a little update of each one of those stories. Like that's it. Like just
I think Stranger Things really showed how to like kind of do that.
Yeah.
I'm not saying the Stranger, like in the first season, their cliffhangers were really good. And in the second, third, and fourth, the cliffhangers dropped off, but their storytelling got better. So I think they show you how to do that because they'll have like 3 scenarios going at once.
Yeah.
The Walking Dead had 15, and you get incrementally very little.
Sometimes
and then you're like,
go a whole episode without getting an update.
multiple episodes because they have separate different plot points going on.
Yeah.
And then they are if the plot calls for it, I'll do it. You know, if there could be 30 zombies in a building, well, we got to clear these 30 zombies. It's going to be really just buzzing in. And then 2 zombies could be a roadblock for somebody.
Yeah,
and
take 40 minutes of the story to...
And it was just like when the plot calls for it, the governor was a awful antagonist to follow up Shane. Look, I understand you're going by comics and everything like that. He is just, I don't know how it is in the comics.
Well, I think that's one thing you can say about The Walking Dead is they stretched out the main plot with just The Walking Dead far too long, and then after extending that out so long, then they started to offshoot new shows. And like, they should have done it sooner. They should have ended at season 3 or 4 and been like, nice bow, all done. Now here's the rest of the universe that we can start showing you. Like we could just do the fucking, the governor and like have a little offshoot go that way, and not have it be like you're bought into The Walking Dead proper. It could just be that plot line, and then tell because they're still putting them out to this day. Like they're still Walking Dead,
like Fear the Walking Dead and shit like that.
Yeah, like and that's
The Walking
fine.
Dead, Carol's thing.
Had you not ruined it with the main one, like because I've watched a couple of them. Like I really like fucking Anthony, or what is his name? The guy that played Daryl. Like I liked him from
I like the Daryl Arm memes. What do you mean that you can't fucking let me tell you
well, I don't think he's the greatest actor, but I can't remember his name. But he was in fucking A, now I can't remember the name of that one either. It's about the 2 Irish guys in Boston and
Latter-day Saints. No.
Yeah, it's Boondock Saints.
Boondock Saints. There you go.
And I've watched that movie 100 times, but like I like him as a guy,
as a background guy. Yeah, as a menacing looking.
But he's a fun actor in Boondock Saints and
Blade.
Like, not to say that he was like super great at acting, but like I love his character and
was
the
he
way
in Blade?
that I don't know.
I think he was in Blade.
But I liked him in Boondock Saints, and then I liked him in The Walking Dead, and so I watched his little.
I think he's a good actor.
Yeah,
I think they just made his character
terrible
shit. Like you were the most closed-minded. When someone tells you something, you don't really listen. And then over and over again, we're going to kind of like build it up where we get it. You care.
Yeah,
we get it. You care. But you show that you don't really care. Like you're so hard on the outside, but we get it. You have a loving on the inside, and we're just going to do that.
The
The whole
yeah.
time. The whole time. No, you're gonna not care, and then you're gonna care, and then
Yeah.
you're gonna care, but you're gonna look like you not care. And we just want you to look not caring while you care.
Well, then we're gonna set up like this whole thing with you and Carol, like it's something, and then just never have it be fucking anything throughout this whole like season after season after season after season. Like Carol's your person, but like you're just like, meh, nothing really comes of you and Carol's like relationship.
Right. I don't know. Carol, the character, I get it. I can't remember the show that well to be like, well, Carol's turning into a badass. I think she just had the moment where she turned badass, where she was just like, I don't think there was like a moment where because you got to think she starts off battered wife.
Oh yeah,
which
like
is always great for a character.
Super battered, yeah.
Battered wife, and then this is why I didn't like Carol, and I could never just get into and this lady's going to be like a prominent. Oh yeah, you're going to be probably some badass. Wouldn't go in the woods to look for a daughter. No, I wouldn't step inside of them to go take a little peeksy doo.
Wasn't she trying to fight to be able to do that, but was being told not to?
No,
I didn't think. I don't know. I haven't watched
Daryl.
it, so.
Daryl had to go look for her.
Yeah,
Sophie, whatever the kid's name was. And even so, hell or high water is not going to get me out there looking for my kid night and day. I'm not going to come back and go home and go to bed until my child's found. I'll die out in them woods. I'll get ate like she did. But still, like, I'll get bit. Like, how do you get bit by a zombie and still get away if you're a child? That's the one thing they got. I would have rather them just like
mutilated.
If you just found her body or something like that.
Well, that's what played for some story points over in Herschel's farm. So I mean, just the fact of wanting to find her still.
God damn it, Shane was a fucking great character. When you have look, so they go to that little fucking. You understand that maybe Rick is not like the leader. Like they show Rick fucking up, and then you have this other guy who was leading everybody, who was doing a really good job. He did fall in love with his best friend's girl. He thinks his best friend is dead. But no.
He kind of left him for dead.
Yeah, he left him for dead. So that does kind of, you don't know that at first.
Yeah.
You don't know that at first. So they're having this like thing, and
did they have anything going on before like the world went to shit? Or like
no, they were just cop buddies.
Well, yeah, I know, but the wife
No. So Lori 100% thinks that he's just dead. He had died. He got ate by zombies. Shane knows that he's still in the hospital bed, but he had to get out of there.
But figured that he probably would.
Right, which you have an unconscious friend who's been in a coma after getting shot. I'm gonna assume, like, what am I carrying you out of there?
No, I'm gonna fuck your wife.
Like if you're my child, I'm gonna carry you out of there. I know you're probably gonna die like on the way to wherever we're going, but I'm not gonna let these motherfuckers eat you. I'm at least gonna like a grown ass man. Like you do have to. There were zombies there. Like you can give him a benefit of the doubt. Not with the fucking the friend's girl though. That's kind of fucked.
Yeah,
like, I would not do that
because it's only weeks in. Like right, it's only weeks. That he was not there for like months, just like fucking dying in a bed.
I don't know what the time
could have only been there. Like
he could have only been there for like 7 days before he dehydrated.
Yes, so like, and then finally catches up.
But I don't think that's the timetable that they were going by. People don't put a lot of thought into the time. You know what I'm saying?
But even still, if it's like less than a month and like you're already fucking home dude's wife, like you were gaming that the whole.
I mean, the world is ending. You don't know what you do, but still, okay. And he has his idea of what's right, which is kind of right. You know what I'm saying? Like if a kid from an opposing gang who braggadociously rapes other fucking, I'm killing that kid. Like I have to protect the people that I love. I don't fucking love those people. I don't. And you're already telling me that they're shit people. I'm sorry, kid. We're
gone.
Yeah, we're fucking killing you. And Rick being like, we can't. Coral sees me killing these kids. Then oh God, I love. Like shut the fuck up, bro. You're like there's no rules. There's no law enforcement. You are not the law. Like if these guys come back, they outnumber you massively.
Is this the show that you initially wanted to start? Was the Mike and Dylan review movies and shows?
I love it. I am excited to see how people take this kind of episode. I think a lot of people are going to be like, Mike, shut the fuck up about shows we don't. Because a lot of people could not have seen these shows.
So did you watch the whole Happy Gilmore 2? Or did you have to shut it off because it wasn't?
A lot of people love Happy Gilmore too. Like they sit and they watch it. I get it. It's like the Mario movie. Like I said, movies don't have to be like.
I think they did very good in some parts and then did absolutely terrible in other parts. I agree with you that they didn't have to. Like I get for the story They had to kill off the wife.
No,
but, like,
man. She was like, "Do you want to retire?" If it's so stupid, I don't want to see the same goddamn thing of something bad happens and the guy gets back into the sport because that just fucking retire. Like, your wife was like, "You should retire." And
oh no, she wanted him to
with the time
keep
gap.
going.
Oh yeah, she wanted him.
She
to keep
wanted
going.
him to keep
She
going.
should. Yeah, she should want him to retire. What a fucking money hungry thing to say.
Well, she's just like
About your wife. No, you have so much more to account. You have so much more money to make for me, bitch. Well, I'm not happy with $50 million. I want $100 million. Look, he could have just, it's been so much time. Just fucking retire.
I think all she said was like, you golf's not done with you, or you're not.
Yeah, something stupid. And then she fucking dies, bro. Don't give me the same shit if something bad and then I made it to, so he's in the grocery store. Crypto bro comes up. He's starting this fucking new thing. He's drinking from a cucumber. Hilarious. That's the shit I want to fucking see.
Yeah.
And then he's like, turn off the camera so I can beat this guy. And he throws him in, and I'm like, I don't want to see this. Like, I don't want to see, like, I want to see the goofy stuff.
There was so much, like, I think that's the hard part, is like to like anticipate, like the one part that I didn't like, and you obviously didn't get to this part.
If you listen and enjoyed it, look, I'm not saying there's any slight on you. I'm saying that I feel like he just shit out something for nostalgia instead of actually doing like an Adam Sandler project where you could see the corny passion behind it. He did shit out something.
I think he did a great job of, like, I'm not saying it's a great movie. I think it's a good one-time watch. I probably won't find myself watching it, whereas the original I'll watch.
Yeah, the original you can watch
multiple times over. Actually.
Right.
I think with this one there was a little bit of nostalgia, just vomit some stuff out. There was a lot of good parts to it. But there were a lot of like just missteps, and like one of them was the whole like fight scene where they did a lot of callbacks to like all the characters that didn't make it in the movie, like Bob Barker and
people who died, yeah,
Mista lady and like stuff like that. And it was okay, but there was those moments where I was just like, you're just cramming this in there just to cram it in there. Like, we don't need this. Like, you got plenty of other callbacks to other people. Like, I mean, even like the Chubb's son, like, he was a good character, but like him having his hand off and all that stuff, you don't have to like fucking same story
everything
plot.
has
like,
to
it does not have to be that.
It's like when I make a skit and I'm like, it's like goofy. It's like you don't need all that. You can take add some real, which I get. Like the first one, he's a hockey player and he will fight you, and he's getting into this golf game, and that's why it was so good, because he's like a hockey player. He's very rambunctious and shit. And you know, it's funny that he goes off on Bob Barker and Bob fucking punches him and shit like that, and it felt spaced out where immediately it just like started off, and I could not, after the guy gets thrown in the fish tank, that's when I turned it off.
Yeah, and I mean that's real early on. I think it's worth the one time through. Just like, I guess the part of it me is like, I know what to expect from an Adam Sandler movie, and like, I mean, I even watched like Jack and Jill and did not turn that off, even though it was the shittiest movie I'd ever seen in my life. But like, it's kind of like when me and you create a skit or something like that, like the amount of time that we pour into it to just do something that people are gonna watch like, you know, a minute or two of, like, I'm just like, I hope people at least watch to the end to deliver whatever we were trying to deliver to them.
Right.
And so like, it takes a lot for me to be like, nope, not gonna watch it. Like, I watched like 4 episodes of some shitty show on like Apple TV, and I was just like waiting. I was like, does this get better? And I literally Googled it. I was like, does this ever get good? And people are like, not really. I'm like, okay, well, I feel okay shutting that off. But for a lot of like, I would sit through, you know, Breaking Bad or any of these ones with the anticipation that eventually it's got to get good. And so with the Happy Gilmore 2, I watched the whole thing.
I want to be honest, okay? So I'm going to be honest right here, and I'm going to get some shit for it, because god damn it. I am the first person that will say the Mario movie, that's fun.
Yeah.
And I defend Adam Sandler a lot. Okay. And I'm like, you know, his movies, he has a demographic, and he makes it, and they love the movies. They go and watch it. So obviously if his guys like it, I have not watched really at Adam Sandler. I watched Grown Ups, and I was like, I can't. Like, I can't keep going like this.
So wait, you didn't start with like Billy Madison,
Well, no, I'm saying
Waterboy,
this is the point that I got to.
Okay.
That I'm at Grown Ups, okay? And then the video game movie came out, and I was like, well, he is just on his own path. He has his own vision, and I am not one that.
Part of it.
Yeah, I'm not a part of this vision. I could see that, you know. And then Jack and Jill came out, and everybody said it was so hard, and I didn't even touch it.
That was before Grown Ups or anything.
What?
Jack and Jill.
No, it was not.
Yes, it was.
No, it wasn't. Don't. God, look. And for those listening, he is currently Googling his own wrongness right now. So, I have.
2011.
What was?
Jack and Jill.
Yep. And then Grown Ups was 2010.
2010. So it was in the same fucking time.
God, he knows the fucking years.
Well, it was
for
in
too.
the same exact time frame. Like a year is not.
But that's what I'm saying. That's what I gave up. And then I saw Jack and Jill, and I was like, I'm not even going to watch that.
Yes, and so like all I'm getting at is like.
And then he had this video game movie, and I was like, "Ooh, the idea behind that has gotten me to." And then I watch it, and I'm like, "It's still not for me." And that's when I pretty much, like, look. And once again,
How about like Hotel?
I love Adam Sandler to death. He doesn't write these movies. Like, he's not sitting there fucking writing these goddamn movies. So I understand you love Adam Sandler, the actor. He's not writing these. And I don't know who the fuck's writing them or just shitting these things out, but they shit them out because you will watch. Like, that's it. You have nostalgia. Like, imagine if they made like if they worked on it and they actually, instead of just being like, oh man, we're gonna fucking, because bro, it was what they worked on fucking Billy for what, 6 months they worked on this movie. Maybe because it was like, oh hey, they're gonna do this, and then they fucking started doing it, and then they immediately was on Netflix. And they shit it out because you'll go and watch it and you'll talk about it and you'll be like, well, I know it's bad, but it's Billy, like it's my childhood.
What, they did to Billy Madison?
Not Billy Madison, fucking Happy Gilmore. But like, it's my fucking childhood. Like it's what, like, and I wholeheartedly expect with the popularity of this that we're going to get a Big Daddies 2 with fucking Cole Sprouse, and it's going to be just as stupid as that, because it was stupid. It was dumb. Like there's no heart, there's no humor. That's a rich guy shitting out shit, and you like it because people like it because it's nostalgia. Like they want to feel like they did back then. They want to when you first watched Happy Gilmore, you were younger. You were probably with friends or something like that. It was on a fucking Saturday. Like you have fond memories of that. And right now, it's just a guy saying, "Hey, you guys that I don't know if the same guy who wrote, Big Daddy, the big ones, Billy Madison, Happy Gilmore. I don't think that guy's still writing for. He might be. I don't know. I don't think he is. I think he has his own production company now. It might be Sandler having writing these movies. I don't think it is, but because it's not been. It's not been.
I haven't looked into any of it.
But like it's just a guy shitting out money or just shitting out something because you will watch it, and that's just kind of like the overarching problem with us right now. Is like, well, I mean. We weren't going to get anything better. Like, it's like people complaining about the Madden series games. And they're like, these games are so bad. But I have to buy it. It's the only football. No, you have football simulators from the past 15, 25 years that you could play that, not buy the new one. Well, they were like, well, if I don't buy the new one, I'm just going to miss out.
Well, see, that's the thing, though. I think the hard part is there's something to be said about nostalgia and all that. However, I think there's also people that are they expect too much from a redo of a movie. Like, I like watching Super Troopers. Super Troopers was such a fucking cult classic. Just, they nailed it. And then on the second one, it was so far detached from it. I enjoyed it. I just thought that like they did a good job of trying to bring that humor back. The same thing that they had. They didn't try to just recreate the same exact thing. Is it, a step up? Not really. Is it a step sideways? Is it decent? Yeah. And is it like a step down? I don't think so. But like there are so many people that are like, this is just played out, blah, blah, blah. I think there's a lot to be said, like with the Boondock Saints. Like they did a terrible job of the second one because they tried to make it into something that it wasn't. The first one was kind of gritty and just like a lower budget movie that was like decent but not trying to be like a Hollywood blockbuster. And then when they did the second one, they tried to make it into a Hollywood blockbuster. Yeah. And so they ruined the concept and what was good about it. And then they like also tried to do basically what I'm saying is kind of wrong with fucking Happy Gilmore too, is like they tried to take characters and like, so the detective in the first one is now it's his daughter or somebody else playing, but like they're trying to copy his mannerisms and like basically recreate his character. And it's like, no, it can be a completely fucking new character. It doesn't have to be anything like this other one. And like that's where they really start to go wrong with
it's not that I'm looking for anything out of a fucking prequel. It's like Eminem, man. Like fucking back in the day, like at least you got heart from this shit. Like you got passion and stuff like that. Eminem is different because I think that he is just on his own little. I think he's trying to like resurrect the dead with his rapping. I don't know what he's doing, like, but it's he's no longer like a poor kid that was, you know, growing up in Detroit or anything like that. He doesn't have the fire to be on top of the game because he's on top. You know what I'm saying? So now he's just like seeing how fast he can rhyme words together, and how if a dodecahedron of fucking entendre is possible. You know what I'm saying? Like he's trying to like do like some 4D chess rapping and stuff like that. So I get that. But Adam Sandler, like his movies just don't have the heart, the passion anymore. It's just like you could watch Billy Madison and sure, you got a rich kid who's going back to school. There's just it's goofy. Mm-hmm. It's not a good movie. There's no plot twist or something like that. It stinks with heart though. Like it stinks with heart. You watch Happy Madison and you got this hockey player who's not going to make it as a hockey player. His grandma's about to lose his house. So he tries out golf and golf doesn't accept him. And you know, he's just this happy-go-lucky. It stinks with heart. After Grown Ups started the trend of it stinks with, I have to make money. Like I have to keep this money train going. Let me throw in all these fucking celebrities. Like back then, bro, you got like in fucking Grown Ups, you started getting Kevin James and fucking David Spade and Chris Rock and all these fucking crazy fucking names. And like, who can I throw in here? For Happy Gilmore 2. Look, I'm gonna say Billy Madison 2 again for fucking just because. Look,
it's coming.
It's coming. Billy Madison 2's coming. Big Daddy 2's coming. And guess what? Fucking Happy Gilmore 2. Eminem. Carl from Shameless. Like, who fucking cares about these fucking people?
Carl from Shameless did not even take, like, there was not even a line for him in that movie.
But I throw these people in here because they're big people, because I no longer have the heart to carry a fucking movie. Think about Big Daddy, man. Big Daddy. We're going to piss on the fucking restaurant. It's not a movie where you're going to be like, fuck. It's just a movie that, I don't know, it feels like if we were to make a movie, that's what it would be. Like it has heart and shit in it. And now it's just like, I have to throw the biggest celebrities. If I make a fucking, who's popping off? Oh, this fucking, this midget in Game of Thrones. Oh, let's get him in the movie. Let's get that guy. I bet he didn't even know his name. He was like, we just got to get him in the movie. It's no longer about the heart that's in it. It's about how many fucking big faces can I put in here? And then also too, like, you can't even say it's dog shit because then people will be like, well, it's just meant to be fun. There are movies. Look, I am the first one that'll take a movie side and be like, bro, if you just sit back, you have no expectations. I had no expectations. I was like, I'm just going to have fun. And 10 minutes in, I'm like, this is dog shit. This is dog shit. Just make, I don't know, or quit. Just, you don't have to. Like, that's the thing, is like, you don't have to. You're so fucking rich, bro. I get it. Make your bag, whatever. But to just like shill out heartless shit because people will fucking buy it. Cool. Good job. I saw this, clip of, they were talking about how critics destroyed Grown Ups too. And he's like, well, my audience loved it and I had fun with my friends. No, man. Your audience, they want the shit that we saw back in the day, and we can't get that. So we hang on to just a little bit of hope that Adam will be able to piece together something decent for one fucking time, to get that heart, to get that fucking, that feel goodness that we had back in the day. And then we just get shit served with big name celebrities. And that's fucking, look, I'm gonna read a piece of advice.
I liked it all right. I will say that it was funny that they put Post Malone in there, and Post Malone like literally had like no lines. Like he literally was just Post
Malone in there to
put
him in there. That's all he does, is put him in there to put him in there. I assume when you walk up on look at Adam Sandler now. I assume when you walk up to an Adam Sandler set.
That was the thing that I was going to say.
Let me finish it, because they don't understand what we're about to touch on, even though that's one thing, is we won't finish an idea, but because we're so gay, you know what I'm talking about. And then like, you'll start finishing mine, and then people will be like, what? What they do? What were they going
Go
on
for
about?
it. Go.
Right, but I guarantee you, when you walk up to an Adam Sandler set, there's no passion on there. He's like, all right, we're gonna do this scene, and we're gonna get it. Look how he just like walks through life. He's just like fucking.
I bet you there's fun though. I bet you it is a fun time.
I guarantee you it's not.
I
I
bet you
guarantee
it
you
is.
it six. Like they did not shoot that shit for long. I guarantee you it was. Of course, on set days, yeah, you're gonna have fun, but it's like, hurry up, guys. We need to, we get the scene shot. We need to get this done. We need to get this done. Like it was very, let's, point A to point B to point C, where normal, shows they got like the hanging out and the goofy stuff. I guarantee you, very few moments of that happened, and if it did happen, it was probably like, ooh, we could like get this out there for like bonus shit.
I bet you it's a good time.
I don't. I bet he goes out there. He's very, let's get this shit done now. Where back in the day, I guarantee you, he was just like, yeah, him and Farley's on fucking set, just like fucking goofing off.
So the thing that I will say though is like what we need to do is figure out. He had like 3 different podcasts on there as like when Home Dude was trying to promote the new Maxi League or whatever for the new golf thing. He had like 3 different podcasts on there. One was shit, I can't even remember the names of the podcast, but like that's what we need to figure out is how to get onto the next Adam Sandler movie so then people watch Mike and Dylan Hate Drama. Like we just got to have that person.
It's just a part of me that's like, I don't know what it is about having, maybe I was a Japanese dude back in the, like I guarantee I was one of those like Japanese guys, like getting onto it's essentially like getting on to Rogan, getting on into an Adam Sandler movie, I guess now, because everybody will watch it, which is crazy because there was not this hype for any Hubie Halloween, all the past 10 fucking things that have came out, even the good, like the good acting he did in the fucking Pawn Shop movie. That was a great fucking movie, and he knocked it out of the park with like his serious acting and shit like that. But the fucking Cobblestone guy, like his past, there's been no hype, and it's because he did a movie from back in the day that everybody just like jumped up and was like, oh, fucking can't wait and get this. If he fucking, and I'm nobody, I understand this. I am a nobody. I am nothing in the eyes of anything. I understand this wholeheartedly. If I read a script like that, I understand people are like, you can make billions. I could have made at the height of like fucking making stupid internet videos. I could have fucking did a coin. I could have done anything to make money off of. If that was my sole goal, if comedy was my sole goal, entertainment was my sole purpose was just to make a fucking quick dollar and get out, I could have fucked a lot of people over a long time ago. And I just didn't do it because I don't like, there's something about doing it the right way that I am almost 100% sure now that I'm going to die before ever doing it the right way. One time.
I think this is a purity test though with you, is like with what Adam Sandler made with this Happy Gilmore 2, like you have a certain lens that you're looking at it through. And like for all intents and purposes, it is just a feel good movie that he just put out to like basically do a rebranding of the original movie.
No, it's that. But it's this movie came out because Netflix was like, we paid you $1 billion fucking dollars. You give us something good, and he was like, all right, look, I can go to the fucking remake well because I know nostalgia will do it, so I can make you money like that. And it's dog shit. Look, I love Adam Sandler. I'm not talking shit about anybody who enjoyed it. I understand you can sit down. I'm saying I couldn't do it.
Yeah.
Because I see.
Yeah, but
I see the fucking they could have done. You can do callbacks. You could do a Happy Gilmore 2 and like put something behind it. He does not care. Like he is like, I can throw this together. I could put Eminem in it, Shameless, Post Malone, all these fucking people. The story does not have to, the story can be just absolute ass. And that's what I can give to you. Like, then because.
But none of Adam Sandler is not built off of the best stories. Like, that's what you've said. Like, from the beginning, you've got fucking The Water Boy, you've got Billy Madison, you got Happy Gilmore, you got fucking Big Daddy. None of them are.
The story not being good, and then you delve more into the assetry of. Look, that's what I'm saying too. Even when you had like the video game movies and all that stuff, they weren't great. They weren't good, like good by any stretch of the imagination. Like, but I still watched that. And I was like, yeah, I'm probably, not in the. I would never watch that again. Like you said, I would never watch it again.
It's a good one-time watch, and that's about it.
But to take something like that had so much heart and then like shit on its fucking memory, like you said, I could turn on fucking Happy Gilmore. I could watch that once a year and laugh just as hard as I fucking did and see all the heart in it. And maybe I do need it. I'll finish it. Look, I'll finish it on the next podcast. I'll update.
Yeah. I'm not saying you're going to like change your opinion in great detail. I think there were good moments and then there were bad moments. It's one of the average, it's never going to go down in history as one of Adam Sandler's best movies.
Yeah, but that's what I'm saying. It could have. And the only reason it wasn't is because Netflix is like, we paid you all this money. You're not even in the ballpark of making that back for us. And we need something big so you can sign your next big fucking deal.
See, my most recent favorite Adam Sandler movies are like the Hotel Transylvania ones. I enjoy those. They're like, and it's not with them acting, but it's still got, Kevin James, David Spade, like all.
Did he do the Hotel Transylvania shit?
Yeah, that's all.
I never knew that.
That's Adam Sandler, Kevin James, David Spade, like all the main people in his, and I think even Chris Rock, like I think all of them.
I'm completely blown away by that. Did not know that.
That's them. And so like, I mean, they're just, once again, feel good movies. Like, I mean, it's for kids, but like I can watch it. And,
right.
And it's like, meh.
I've never seen them,
time.
but
oh, they're good.
I
mean, they're not good. They're just
right.
Like,
yeah.
It's a kids movie.
I just want my kids. They just didn't get into that.
Yeah.
I didn't know that. That's adorable.
Yeah. And those are like some of my favorites, but like, it's not about like,
and maybe it is. Maybe it is like I could enjoy it as but I'm just saying, man, I watch Big Daddy, Billy Madison, Mr. Deeds, all that shit now. And I'm just like, man, and look, I loved the Mortal Kombat movie when I was a kid. Little Nicky. I just watched that like 2 weeks ago. But the Mortal Kombat movie, I loved that as a kid. I tried to watch it now. I was like, oh, God damn. Yeah. I think I made it like 40 minutes through and I was like, nostalgia couldn't get me through that. I could still watch those Adam Sandler movies just because like I don't like people saying like, hey, you like this because you were a kid. I like this because there's something to it that makes you like it.
Yeah, I watched Alf. Like, I grew up watching Alf, Alien Life Form, the little, weird guy.
I never watched that.
So that's my era of, I was watching it on TV as it was coming out.
You sound so ancient, bro.
Yeah, I am ancient. But like,
so old.
It was great and I loved it. And like, I even like fell in love with it when I was a teenager. Cause like I was smoking weed in this barn and I found like an Alf lunchbox. And so like I upped on my like, oh, this is fucking cool. I love this. I remember this from when I was a kid. And then when I was like probably in my early 20s, one of my girlfriends like, oh, you like Alf? Here, I bought you the DVDs. And then I watched like 2 episodes and I was like, fucking throw these out. Like, I don't want to ruin my nostalgia of how much I like that show when I actually watch that show and it's fucking garbage. I cannot sit through a fucking episode of it. It's so dumb, but I don't want to ruin it. Like, I like your Mortal Kombat. Like, I have the memories of how awesome this was. They're completely make believe because it was not awesome.
Right.
I was just a kid. It was awesome. But yeah, like with Adam Sandler's movies, you can still look back on them if you like just stupid, silly humor and not really, concerned about like, oh, is this story gonna like, throw me for a loop at the end? No, it's just a fucking cut and dry,
like flask. Like this, just bro, they're eating you let it slide down your throat hole. Like it's just, I don't know.
I always thought Popeye's chicken was made up because of that movie because I'd never heard of it before, and then Popeye's chicken is the fucking shiznit. But yeah,
I was about to say something real funny, but I didn't get Joey Swoll on here. I'm like, I'm sorry, guys. Why are you apologizing, Mike? You don't even make money off this shit. I'm just like, well, at a time, there was a time when I did make money off of it, and I don't know. I think I hated creating more then.
You what?
I think I hated creating content more than when I actually made money off of it. Than when I was just like, I don't even care anymore, and it's just no money off of it. Oh, I have decided, guys, I'm going back to work, and maybe that will bring back my love of. As soon as like it was like, hey, you have to do this to get paid this, like you have to meet all these parameters. I was like, fuck this shit. Like it's not making jokes anymore. Yeah. Now it's dragging out a joke so you can make money from it. Now it's doing this, and then once your whole life is consumed by, and at this point, I feel like the fucking monk that sets himself on fire, where it's like, bro, you didn't have to do that. Like nobody told you to do that, and everybody's okay with you not doing that. But like, I don't like to be like, hey, we have to do this, 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 and this, and that's how you make. And you're not going to get paid any other way, so you like conform to that, and then I conform to. I'm like, oh man, this is a really funny joke. Well, we hope you could make that into a minute-long thing, because if you can't, then you're not going to make any money off of it. And then you're like, well, I have made this like my. I was like, fuck that shit. If I just go back to work, then I could just make what I want to make. It's no longer make what they want me to make.
Well, and I think that's what we found though with this is because like the podcast, we aren't doing this because it's making a bunch. Like even though I think it has the
Mike and Dylan Hate Drama is therapeutic for me.
But yeah, it's where we get to actually sit down and enjoy talking.
Anything we want to talk about. Like we talked about we argued about card games for 10 minutes. And then we talked about, and I don't know how watchable this is to somebody else. Someone could be like, I remember that one fucking TikTok where everybody was talking about the most exciting podcast ever. And it was a joke because two guys were talking like about a fucking toaster or something like that. Yeah. Like parameters of a toaster. They got into some shit like that. And everybody was like, "Why?" Riveting content, guys. Like absolutely just mind blowing shit. But it does just feel, I don't know, it just feels good to talk. Like it feels good to, I don't like to get into the situations where I'm like, ooh, like we got to bring on these fucking guests. And then, we have to have moments where I'm just like dying laughing and shit like that for it to.
No, I think it's the
get listeners and shit.
It's the genuineness of it that is what, like, I mean, I listen to podcasts in my normal day to day, and it's the genuine conversations. And even though a lot of the ones that I listen to are learning based rather than entertainment based, like it's still the conversation between two people on an interesting topic. It doesn't matter. Like it could be about video games. It could be about, health. It could be about fucking movies. It could be about anything. And as long as there's an interesting dialogue, a little bit of like back and forth, that's what makes it interesting for me to listen to hours while I'm driving or while I'm exercising, while I'm walking. Like I'll listen to podcasts through and through. And honestly, I think that would be one thing that I would suggest for you is to just put some of them on because it is.
I think you could tell the podcast where like I'm enjoying myself versus the podcast I'm not enjoying. Like, because it doesn't matter like what you do. Like you have a podcast, and when something is like your financial, like it's the like
you have to.
It's like how if you have to do it. If you're like fuck this, like I don't want. Like, of course, if I could do what I want to do and, make that's ultimately what I want to do. But once we're like, well, now, you got to go over a minute, or now you have to do like this crazy fucking AI hook that just draws people's attention. I'm like, I don't give a fuck about that. I don't care about that. Like, I would much rather, make just a corny ass joke that fucking, that's where, Felonious Fall started. I was like, even though I was talking shit about like companies in the beginning, they were all like, they would be like stupid jokes. And while I was doing that, I was also doing the Waffle House videos where, it was like someone tried to talk back to you at a Waffle House. One guy was like, I asked for these sunny side up. No, sunny side up, these eggs sunny side. I was like, oh, no, you didn't, bitch. You asked for scrambled eggs. You asked me to put some extra milk in those eggs, make them real fluffy. You can't put milk and sunny side up eggs to make them fluffy. Now, if you think, I'm just like, and the next time you have a complaint, how about just tell me to come over here and just go ahead and slap shit out of you? Because that's what I'm going to do anyways. Like, just like doing like goofy stuff, which like people like, they yell in the comments. They're like, Mike, you're going to get demonetized for this. You saw that with it'd be like, Mike wonders why he's demonetized. And it's like the clip of me just being like,
yeah, I remember
telling the guy that, well, the listener doesn't. That's the telling the guy that, he's like, my job sucks. What should I do? And I was like, you should take a sawed-off shotgun.
How many times are you going to try and get us demonetized with
go in there and commit a mass atrocity? And it's just like, I was just sitting there so dumbfounded about
it. Didn't get you the first time, so you try to say it 5 more times so that we can get.
Well, that's one good notch on Spotify and podcasting in general is that I guess they just don't give a fuck. Well, I think we're going to get into some advice. Over an hour into this podcast, we're going to be like, all right, well, let's do the advice part of the podcast.
Yeah, that's what we talk about in the beginning, and then we do an hour and a half long intro.
That's all. That's our intro, guys. Good God. All right. So the title is, how the fuck can your listeners give y'all money? God damn it, the misquotes are horrible and it's hot as shit. I love y'all's podcast, but you don't have a space to contribute monetarily to the podcast. Where do we need to send y'all money? Well, we tried Patreon, but we have the Patreon. We do not have access to the Patreon yet, so thank God.
The minute that I got it to go live and like publish the Patreon was the same minute that they sent us an email saying, sorry, your account has been disabled due to suspicious activity.
which, you know, thank God, like 1,000 people didn't sign up.
Well, I mean,
because-
imagine if that was like 1 million people were, or like 1 million, that's what suspicious activity. And then once it clears, we're just like, all right, now we got tons of money and now we can make the movies. That would be so great of a problem to have.
we can all dream, my lord. This one says, female guest. Hey there, y'all ever think of having a female guest point of view? I currently have no life, but have lived a life. First ex in prison, second ex was closeted. Just saying, I think it would help a lot of female listeners. Coming from Virginia Beach, let me know. Why would we want a woman's point of view? Like, yeah, the fucking, the scenery is very nice while I look out of the kitchen window doing them dishes. I'm just fucking with you, but I think, well, here's the thing about guests too is who the fuck, like, who do we have on this podcast where it's just like, I don't even know how you get a guest.
Well, I think that's the part that we need to figure out, and it's still like in the learning phases, is what we would talk about if we were to have a guest, which it would just be whatever topic they wanted to talk about. I just realized that when I went to get water, I forgot to put my arm slingy back on. And you didn't even give me any shit for that in the first half.
Oh, yeah. So Dylan was jacking it, and
Lefty
style, and you know, when you're doing it with I am a left-handed individual, so I have complete control, mastery over that. But if I try to do it with my right, it would just be of like a blind person trying to fucking wrangle a snake.
A stranger.
Yeah, trying to wrangle an earthworm. Let me get it a little bit more towards reality.
I was thinking more like slug, because
So,
earthworm's kind of very, very
we
skinny.
never even brought that up, he hurt his shoulder, so he's like trying to keep it in place, but now
It's like when I had my fingernails all painted, and I was like, hey, just bring it up so that I can talk about it, and Mike's like, okay, and then didn't bring it up at all.
Don't ask me to do anything. Like, don't be like, hey, Mike, can you remember this? Because no.
Well, I'm going to go into that. So I have a 4-year-old, and she likes painting nails, and we have these awesome, like, Disney princess fingernail polish, because my wife's like, I don't want her using real nail polish, it'll fuck up her nails, like nail bed, blah blah blah, all this, you know, girl talk. And I was like, okay, yeah, whatever, that's cool. And then so she finally decided that my daughter can now use big girl nail polish, and so she borrowed some of her sister's like gel nail polish. Well, that is like the antithesis of what we'd been using. We had the original kind that you could like almost like peel off, or you wash your hands like twice and it's off. And this new stuff was like permanent, like as permanent, like would have lasted weeks. And so like I'm sitting there trying to wash all this stuff off. Not that I care about the fingernail polish. I really couldn't care less either which way. But it's one of those things where like if she wants to paint my nails again, she's just going to paint more on top of these nails, and then it's just going to look like fucking god awful the more stacks. I'm
letting you explain, but I want to talk about something on the previous thing we were talking about with the guests. Where's it at?
But yeah, so like we have now went back from the hardcore gel nail polish back to the peel off kind. I bought some new stuff for her, so you're probably gonna see new ones on, but it's the 4-year-old wanting to paint my nails. It's not me going through my goth phase again.
So Justin Danger Nunley, he started a podcast.
Oh, did he?
Yeah, I don't know the guy that he started it with.
He's the guy that's real close by here. He's like just
he's in Florida.
Oh, okay.
No, this is he's not. But I vividly remember them just doing a podcast with The Undertaker or some shit, and they just started it. And I was like, you fucking fuckers, like, why?
Well, because they're doing guests, and like you can get guests. You could get guests.
I don't know how to get guests. How do I get guests?
Well, especially with the listenership that we already have, like we could get guests. It would not be hard.
I don't know. I'd just rather say fuck Justin. Like, why? Come out the gates with that? Like, what are you trying to entertain people? Yeah. Trying to give the people what they want?
No.
Man, like
just make them sit through hours.
How the fuck do I email somebody? Just like, hey, guys, why don't you come? We'll pull up a bucket, a cooler you can come sit on, and yeah, we can bust out a fucking podcast.
I still think we should go for Post Malone.
I don't know, it's so crazy that people even like, because we argued for like 20 minutes on card games, and people are just like, I don't even know what a fucking Yugi man is.
That's what I'm getting at. That's my point. I don't know what a Yugi man is either. And I'm like, if I knew what our RNG and all this other jargon meant, I might be like, oh, that sounds pretty interesting. But as you're like, it's like a brain surgeon being like, well, you cut the nerve, and I'm like,
Before
I
we
have
get
no
to
fucking
another,
clue.
they're not the same.
This isn't brain surgery. It's fucking simple.
None of these are like actual.
None of them are.
They're not like actual advice. It's just like, hey guys, start a Patreon.
Well, yeah. What was the one that I thought? This one. Yeah. There's one. You just skip by it. I'll read it since you're just going to skip over our dear listeners submitting stuff. Family drama for MADHD is right there in the title, man.
I just kept seeing like Patreon and stuff like that, and I'm just like,
Am I the asshole for keeping my family at a distance? I, 40 male, married my wife, 37 female, 5 years ago. I stayed mostly single for most of my life and only had a few serious relationships throughout. Since me and my wife have been married, there have been nothing but problems out of my family. Everything we do is another reason to be mad at me. The problems really started when my kids were born. Both my kids are my world. They are both NICU babies and are very lucky to be here. My family lives 4 hours from me and will not come to me. They expect me to load my family up and drive them if I'm going to see them. I work in a steel mill and mostly work 60 hours or so, and so little time off. So the little time off, I like to be at home. I haven't cut them off completely, but I do keep them arm's length. The drama is just not worth it. Talking does not help, as my mother just tells me that what she thinks I want to hear in that moment and then reverts back to the same shit. Just as an FYI, my mother and I used to be very close. After I got married, she became a different person. My wife does try her best, but she's not going to kiss anyone's ass, and I don't expect her to. Obviously, a lot more I could go into, but it's long already. Love the shows. Keep it up. You're going to be big soon. I just know it. I don't think there was really a lot to go on in there other than like just, families.
They're shitty, far away, want me to travel to them. Look, you're not obligated to anybody. If you like it, if you enjoy working your 60 hours and spend time with your kids, it's your life. Like,
and if they want to come see you,
right? Yeah,
they
can pack. Bro, it sucks packing up kids. Like, packing up kids suck. If you got a mom and dad that want to come see you, and they ain't got drive your old asses up here. Like, especially if y'all are retired or whatever, just drive your old asses up here and see your grandkids. You don't have to go down there and fucking like load your kids up and fucking just do it.
Well, that's the thing is, like I moved 9 hours south of where I grew up, and so like I'm actually going up next week for a high school reunion. I literally went to school with these kids from the time I was in preschool until I would have graduated with them, but I left my senior year. And at first when I moved down here, I was like, these fuckers, like, they don't even like care about me. Like, they don't even come down to visit me. And then at some point in like my 20s, I was like, wait a second. I don't go up and see them. Like,
right.
And I'm the one that like left. So like if I really give a shit about going up and like spending time with them, I go see them where they all still live and I left. So like I don't have to feel, but I used to get like all of my feelings like my friends don't give a shit about
Look, all
me,
this shit is so hard when I read all this advice because I'm just like, man, I'm glad I don't like my family. Like, I'm glad my family don't like me. It's a beautiful relationship if you think about it. Like, it is it's a beautiful relationship that I honestly aspire for anyone else because it's real, especially if you came from a toxic family. To just be like, fuck y'all. Like,
well, I think the thing is like the people that actually give a shit about you. Like, if there's family that actually give a shit about you and try,
right?
It's a totally different scenario.
Like, it works both ways. But if it's only a one-way street and then you cut that off, man, it is
yeah. Like with these parents, like they're not willing to travel 4 hours to see you, their kid, and their grandkids, whether they like your wife or not. Like, 4 hours is going to separate you, and whether you fucking take a train, a car, a plane, whatever, like you're not going to take that travel, then why the fuck do you expect me to? Like,
right. I don't know.
And I think the next one is some advice that you're like to get into. I'll let you read it.
Yeah, I want to read this one. All right. I'm sorry. I just kept seeing I'm like, listen, one is cool because it's like we can do like a nod, wink, wink.
Well, these are the people that
go check
ultimately
out the Patreon.
They said all this stuff before we started all that. Like the guy at the bottom was talking, or one of them was talking about how they wanted the buy me a coffee because they'd rather not do the reoccurring subscription thing. They just want to, send $10 and call it a day.
Someone said not a story, just a suggestion. Have you considered starting a Cameo? Cameo is the worst, bro. It is so bad.
Well, yeah, you take all that time to do all that, and you get what, like $2?
Yeah,
$3.
we got you $1. All right, so difference different perspective on spouse versus children debate. I've heard you guys mention on the podcast that your number one priority is your children. While I don't disagree with that, I also have a different perspective. My children are a top priority to me and my wife both, but we also put one another first. I will be forever with my wife, whereas my children will leave home one day and require less care and attention as they start families of their own. I love my kids more than anything, but feel that if my wife isn't getting the love and attention she needs, then my kids will also be lacking that in that area due to her feeling neglected. Love the podcast and hope you guys are making it big. I'm not saying neglect your wife.
No.
That's not what I am getting at. And I understand making sure your spouse is happy and healthy is a good thing. In your household, there is only a couple people who had no choice into being there. Okay, that you are now solely responsible for are they going to make this world a better place, or are they just going to be an absolute shit stain on society? And that's your job. That is your responsibility. When you have a kid, it doesn't matter. I love my wife. It's so lovely that we got this relationship. It is your responsibility now to be a father, to guide children into adulthood. It might not be what you want to do. I have found joy in it. I have found fun in it. But it is ultimately a responsibility. I think there's a lot of time in the day where you can show your children love, show your wife love. I'm not saying, hey, because you love your children so much that, I'm sorry, wife, you never get to see me or anything like that. I'm not saying that, but I'm saying children in a house home are the most important aspect of that household. And it's always good to have conversations and keep up with what they're doing and just, kind of have them at the forefront of decision making and stuff like that. Of course, you can still, sit next to your wife, rub her legs, make sure she's happy, talk to her, give her love and attention. But y'all's goal as partners should be, how do we get these two kids into adulthood without fucking them up?
Yeah. And I think I'm like right in the middle. Like I don't pick one or the other. And I don't think anybody really is. Nobody's saying like, my wife, fuck the kids and fuck the kid, or like fuck my wife, but like I'll take care of these kids. Like nobody's saying like, to disregard anybody. It's all like, it's communication, like we talk about all the time. It's communicating with your wife so that she understands like what's going on, like why you're doing what you're doing, work, kids, her well-being, all this stuff is just talking. But then like with the kids, like, yeah, ultimately you chose to bring them into this world. And I saw somebody had commented like, nobody chose to be here. Yeah, I get it. Like all of us were kids once. And so we were, yeah, but you are choosing to pair up with somebody and be in that relationship. And you do have to sacrifice the here and now with your wife or your husband or whatever to ensure that you're taking care of those kids. And it's not like you have to like push them aside. But yes, when it comes down to like, if the kid needs time spent with them or you need time spent with them, the kid is going through formative years and milestones and all these things, and they need that support. Like, I guess the best way to put it and like side with you pretty much on this is like, if you take a newborn infant and neglect it, but still give it food and water, it will die. Whereas if you neglect your wife or your husband for a couple days, they'll be fine. And not to say that you neglect either of them, but without the human interaction, a child will die. Whereas with adults,
I'm gonna tell you one thing,
make it through.
Toddlers love an open body of water. They are magnetized. Anytime I read about, and look, this is not supposed to be funny. It is a little bit funny how I word things. But anytime like a toddler disappears from a house, they always find it in the local body of water. It's just like a toddler. I don't know what it is, man. It's like,
well, the puddle jumpers around them.
It's like nature or something. Like we're one with nature, because as soon as a kid gets out of the house, it's always like a parent, they were like looking at their phone or something. They were like, I was just on Facebook for 5 minutes and I looked up, when really it's been like 55 minutes, because toddlers do not move that fast, bro.
No.
They do not move that fast. Yeah, you've been on it for an hour and a half, just like in some kind of argument, and you look up, you're like, oh my God, my toddler's gone. It's just like, as soon as they get away from their parent, it's just like like they hear this singing,
the siren,
right? Yeah, and then they start walking through the woods, and they always find it, man. They never just walk through just a patch of woods, and then they're just like found in the woods. That rarely ever happens. It's always body of water.
Well, my daughter yesterday, we were just hanging out, and I think I let my wife take a nap, and she got to have the nap time while I went and just kept the 4-year-old entertained, which I love to do. But yeah, we were just hanging out, and then she's like, I want to dip my feet in the water in the bathtub. And ultimately she wanted to take a bath without the cleaning part,
Right.
which is like exactly what a kid wants to do. Like, they don't dislike baths, they dislike the cleaning part of a bath. They'll play in water all day long. And so like all I had to do was, we don't need a pool, we don't need a fucking thing outside at all I got to do is put 4 to 6 inches of water in a vessel of any sort. And she's like, woo, party time. Exactly your point, is like fucking magnets to playing with water. But yeah, it's just funny because like, yeah, a kid is susceptible,
But
to
there's like
so much.
there's like a food chain with that though, because you know toddlers will go right after the body of water, and then a pit bull will go right after a toddler, like magnetized to
It
it.
depends on how you raise them.
Yeah, that's what they say. That's what they say when it's
Like
all.
both of them.
Look, there was just one that just happened, and I was just like, oh, people post the I don't know if you see, you're not online a lot, but like you'll get into comment sections. Say a black person committed a crime. If you go into comment sections, you'll see well, okay, and that's like someone going well, like you know,
No.
sarcastically. It's a black person committing a crime. I'm not going to touch on that. Okay, what I am going to touch on is that's what I do when I see the pit bulls attack. I'm just like, well, didn't make it. Not all pit bulls. I think that's a appropriate place to use it,
Yeah.
a funny place to use it. Because listen, black people, white people, they do terrible things, okay? Pit bulls always attack toddlers. That's it. They always do it. Well, this one was pit bull boxer. I'm sorry.
Yeah, my wife wants to adopt a dog now that Buddy's no longer with us, and I'm like, I don't trust any dog. Like, if we got it as a puppy, but I don't want to go through the puppy phase either. But like, I'm not just trusting a random pound dog around my kid. Like, there's a reason why our old dog is not with us anymore, and I'm not going to just bring a new dog into this scenario.
It's so weird too how people are just like, I'm gonna trust this animal that can up in one day just be like, you know what?
Chew my throat out.
Right, I'm fucking angry.
Yeah.
And it'd be like, well, it's not the toddler just got into its line of eyesight in a weird way. That's why the dog attacked.
Yeah.
I'm like, it's not a fucking bear. Like, it's not a bear. Like, if you talked about a bear like that, of course, I'm gonna be like, well, you probably sneak up on a bear. And then he turn around and gets startled. And
Yeah.
like, there's things you do with these, you know, these pit bulls, and there's ways you train them not to kill. And I'm just like, well,
Why should
or
I have to train it not to kill?
yeah, let's just not have it in the house. Let's not look, I understand there are people out there, they have a pit bull that would protect their kids, okay?
Till
Till it gets old and it doesn't understand that that's who they're protecting anymore, and you know it's in pain and shit like that you don't know, because a dog can't just be like, I'm in pain.
And once again, it's not just pit bulls. Like, this is like kind of like the political argument. It's not just the right. It's not just the left. It's literally, for the most part, any dog that is big enough can do this. It doesn't matter whether it's a mutt, a fucking lab. I mean, stereotypically, it is pit bulls and Rottweilers and
yeah,
the
because
ones that have
nobody
been trained to like kill
the little
but, like,
dogs when they attack somebody. It's just like, yeah, I was able to kick that dog off. A dog that's made of pure goddamn muscle.
Yeah.
It's like, yeah, this dog is one big beef stick of just fucking. And look at this.
Do you see?
I like the dog because of its alligator shaped head.
Just the jaw muscles alone. Like,
it looks like an
defined.
alligator head, and then like, it was attacking my baby. I couldn't fucking unleash the alligator jaws that it had on my goddamn kid. And I was just like, well, just don't get the ones that have the fucking alligator jaws, man. You don't have to. Nobody's like, you know, it'd be real cool if we just had this fucking little beast, this little bear. Like, what if we had like a little bear, but it's not like little enough where it's like not a problem. It's still a problem if it got mad. I'm just like, no, I'm not going to have anything in my household that if it gets angry, I have a problem dealing with, because I already got my wife. That's enough. Like, controlling that when she's angry, God help me. But just like a little muscular monster that's literally like, think about how
I know you've talked about sometimes like us going over the line of where we're going to make people mad. This pit bull thing, I think, is like one of those things where people are just like, man, not my pit bull. I
don't give a fuck. Look, it's not your pit bull until it eats you. Understand that. Pit bulls, man, they anything is good until it like fucking It was like, bro, I had the perfect girl until I walked in one day and she was getting gangbanged by 4 guys. Listen, she could have been great up until that point, and something could have happened here recently where you don't know, she got into gangbangs and then got gangbanged by 4 guys. Cool, but there's a point where she was great, all right, and then
She's not.
gangbanged by 4 guys. There's a point where the pit bull's great, and then one day your baby gets up and boops on an injured nose that you didn't know it had. There's a fucking infection in your dog's nose, and he just, takes
Latches
a little,
on. Yeah, we don't got to go in depth.
little chompy chomp, and then it's a tragedy on the news station where I have to read it and go, it's always pit bulls. Well. All right, guys, listen. If you would like to support the podcast, you can check us out on Patreon, Mike and Dylan. Once again, if you join the Patreon, we're going to send you an email that tells you how to view the videos, because we are still not allowed on our Patreon account because Patreon thinks we are suspicious, but we'll still accept
Still take the money.
Yeah, you can still get memberships, but y'all are suspicious.
Wonder if they'll pay us after this month is up, even though we weren't like.
I don't know why this is
accessible.
fucking taking so long.
No, it's been 6 days now.
I don't understand why. Listen, somebody has to what did you say? You were 7 people away from talking to the right person?
Yeah.
Somebody has to know somebody that can at least talk to 5 other people to get us in touch with somebody from Patreon, because this is fucking ridiculous. But this has been a hell of an episode. Listen, I hope you know more about card games. You understand the dangers of pit bulls, and you kind of understand your toddler's fascination with an open body of water. But we will see you guys next time.
Later.